Guess he's got more stretches to do. Oh, I wish. I wish. Oh, my back is stiff. Oh, oh, he said. He unked. He unked. What's up? Hey, can we pour one out for I get what's the opposite of pour one out? Can we pour one in for my skin barrier? It's feeling better. It's feeling better. It's feeling better. It feels pretty good right now, actually. It feels all right. 2,600 people in the start. What the fuck are you people doing here? Hello? 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 Lag? Hello? My skin barrier feels better. Yes, sir. Your face looks like it's been smoothed by AI now? No, it doesn't. Also, why would that be the case because of a skin barrier? That's like a retinol niacinamide thing. Did you do anything different, or is it just you getting used to vitamin C? No, no, no. I'm not using anything. I'm not even using a facial cleanser. I'm washing my face with like regular soap. Gotta repair the skin barrier, lads. Gotta repair the skin barrier. Have you guys seen all the goddamn Jimothy content out there?
Do we, the baby don't have a tail?
What happened to its tail?
Look at him!
Do we, the baby don't have a tail?
What happened to its tail?
He's so good. Been around for a while, you know. I was hoping you'd cover this. Ah, yeah, of course, of course, of course. How about this?
Election coming and I gotta let it rip. I gotta get, cause the clock's ticking. Election coming and I gotta let it rip. I gotta get, cause the clock's ticking. Election coming and I gotta let it rip.
She is such a fascinating candidate. Her voice creeps the fuck out of me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm sorry. Nobody's yet come up with a convincing explanation for that. I let it rip in my dreams. In my dreams. Is that a burning... Is that a burning cross in the background? You know, I'm not going to pretend I understand the context, but yeah, that is in fact a burning cross in the background. Live Son of God. Is she at like a evangelical church or something? What is she doing? It's Jesus stuff? Okay, nothing about the covenant of Christ or whatever mandates a church, a cross be on fire. A burning cross is a very specific bit of imagery. Da-da-da-da-da. It's all AI? Yeah, of course it is. It's always AI. Everything's AI. Not normal Jesus stuff? Yup. So, it looks like we finally found the source of the poop virus. The poop bacteria. No, it's neither of those things. It's a poop parasite. The diarrhea parasite. Hello, Taco Bell. It's not just Taco Bell. It's their lettuce supplier. Oh, is there audio playing? That must suck for you.
Just God bless all
Oh,
you.
sorry. It was playing this down here. I don't know why it auto-played that. That's kind of annoying. Well, poop.
Health officials now say shredded lettuce served at some Taco Bell locations is linked to a 5-state outbreak of the intestinal illness cyclosporiasis.
Wait. Is this different? Wait, wait. Hold on. Is this different? 5-state outbreak? Is this not? No, it is the same thing? Same issue? Why does she say 5-state outbreak then?
Those states include Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and West Virginia. CNN's Jacqueline Howard is with us now. All right, Jacqueline, what more are you learning here?
Brianna, we're learning that more than 1,600 people have gotten sick as part of this outbreak that has been connected back to the shredded lettuce sold at some Taco Bell locations. And
because the supplier goes to those 5 states, but the supply supplies more than just that one supplier, then why are they singling out Taco Bell? Isn't that kind of unfair? Like, the parasite has been found in at least 31 states at this point. Why are they singling out Taco Bell? It's a general lettuce supplier. Like, are they... We're just doing the Taco Bell makes you poop thing?
among those people who've gotten sick, we know that 94 of them have been hospitalized. And again, this is in just those 5 states that you mentioned: Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Indiana. And Brianna, we also know that the FDA says it is working directly with the supplier of that shredded lettuce to determine if the contaminated lettuce has been sent to other places too, outside of Taco Bell. So this is an active investigation that is ongoing. Now, Taco Bell has provided a statement and
Taylor Farms has sold many grocery stores. Yeah, this okay. I'm actually getting like mad right now. Why the fuck are they singling out Taco? This literally has nothing to do with Taco Bell. Taco Bell just sources their lettuce from the same place everywhere else sources their lettuce from. They're just doing the bit. They're like, oh, haha, Taco Bell. What the fuck? What about the fucking Taco Bell shareholders, man? They're going to take a cut to their earnings for what? For nothing.
response to the outbreak. In the statement, Taco Bell says, quote, based on ongoing conversations with public health officials and out of an abundance of caution, Taco Bell has taken immediate action to voluntarily remove potentially impacted lettuce.
Who's thinking about the shareholders, Bob? Who's helping them out? Me.
A supplier in select states. The affected ingredient from our supplier is being indefinitely removed from our supply chain nationwide.
Never been sick from Taco Bell? Listen, the Taco Bell makes you sick thing is highly overstated. The quality of materials at Taco Bell's is fine. The real place that instantly gives me the shits every time I eat there, Wingstop. Wingstop to me is like a fucking ticket to the bathroom, man. It's like just a straight, near instant. Sometimes I don't even finish making it through the food I've ordered before I have to go to the bathroom. Wingstop's delicious though. Well, that's why I kept going back. Probably should stop going there then. I did. I haven't eaten there in years. Why would any human person ever eat at Wingstop? That's racist.
Will be replaced within 24 hours in select states, end quote. So for now, Brianna, the CDC is telling people do not eat shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations in, again, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and West Virginia. And if you do develop symptoms like watery diarrhea or fatigue, nausea, or sometimes people have explosive diarrhea, then definitely talk with your doctor and tell them if you...
It's literally like, why the fuck? Wait, what is this segment called? Is this bigger than Taco Bell? It's literally not just Taco Bell. You say Taco Bell's been linked to 5 states, but this parasite is in most states.
On the show this week, who had confirmed cyclospora, had eaten actually in New York City at an establishment that was not Taco Bell. So what does that mean?
That's right, Brianna. That tells us that there might be something broader going on. And the CDC...
Yeah, why the... What? If it's linked to lettuce in Taco Bell, that means it's the lettuce that has the parasite. The parasite isn't manifesting once it gets in the taco. What the fuck? Wait, this is like unironically a hit. Did somebody pay for this? Yeah, I'm genuinely... Did CNN executives have short positions on Taco Bell? This is actually insane. You guys, like, this is like actually insane. What the fuck? And I'm sorry, like, I don't want to do the shareholders bit over and over again, but like, genuinely, like, Taco Bell did nothing to deserve this. It's in Whole Foods. It's in Safeway. The reason they're doing this is because the government did it first. They're just regurgitating the CDC's report on it. Jesus Christ, dude. And the CDC is saying only 5 states have it. This is the only CDC information we have about the outbreak that we know has hit at least 30 states. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Our media is so fucking bad. Jesus Christ. So it's literally just Taco Bell because the administration would rather blame like the haha funny fast food Mexican restaurant than acknowledge the fact that a major food supplier in the US is using fucking gray water and getting poop parasites all over their unwashed lettuce. So it's racism? That's it. I mean, that's probably at least part of it. Horrifically irresponsible.
CDC has said that it is investigating two separate situations. One, there is that outbreak centered in the Midwest. But two, we do know that several other states have reported cases, and nationally, for now, it doesn't
Several other? It's been reported in over 30 states.
Appear that there are higher than normal numbers of cyclosporiasis nationally. Now, could these other cases be tied back to the Midwest outbreak? Could they also be tied to just travel? Could they be just we happen to see more cases than usual this year? It's a random year.
I'm actually losing my mind. This is I genuinely feel like I'm oh man. I genuinely feel like I'm watching like an AI or like a fake. I don't. There's like no relationship whatsoever between the story and what they're reporting on right now. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm doing a bad job communicating this. I feel a little bit groggy. Does everyone understand the issue here? The idea that a massive lettuce supplier has contaminated shredded lettuce, which they supply to grocery stores, to Taco Bell, to everyone, and the CDC blames it on Taco Bell because haha Mexican food, and CNN picks it up, but now they're downplaying the fact that there's a general outbreak. Look, this is from Reuters 1 hour ago. U.S. lettuce supplier Taylor Farms to recall ingredients. They're not even mentioning Taylor Farms here. So what, did Taylor Farms bribe them and tell them to make Taco Bell take the fall? I have to assume there's a monetary interest because this level of willful dishonesty doesn't manifest for no reason. This is like a unbelievably malicious level of dishonesty that has to be done for some reason. It's not being done for fun. So we're not even mentioning Taylor Farms. California-based lettuce supplier told U.S. regulators it was preparing to recall ingredients linked to a parasite outbreak. They supply everyone. Everyone.
Those questions that
It's in the CNN headline you were just showing. Yeah, but why aren't they talking about it?
other situation is what the CDC is also investigating. So, Brianna, while we have the Midwest outbreak, like you said, we are seeing other cases too where people are getting sick and they haven't eaten at Taco Bell. So that's why there are more questions to answer here while health officials look at these increases in cyclosporiasis cases.
Yeah. How did we get to this point? All right, Jacqueline Howard, thank you so much.
I'm joined now by the Director of Food Safety at Consumer Reports, James Rogers. James, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for all the important work you're doing. You're saying the answer isn't swapping a salad, let's say, for ice cream. Explain to our viewers what safety precautions they should be taking right now.
Well, Wolf, it depends on their tolerance for risk. If you want to remove as much of the risk as possible, the advice is that you actually cook your salad greens or your fruits and vegetables, or you don't eat them at all. However,
are they going to say Taylor Farms at any point in this video? Because if they don't, genuinely, my explanation for this is that the anchors were told not to say it, but the guy who does the stinger, the titles on the overlay didn't get the memo. It's on screen right now. I want them to say it. I want them to say it out loud. I want them to say it. They don't write the blurbs that pop over them. I want them to say it.
It's not some advice that some people are willing to have. So we at Consumer Reports suggest that you need to practice good food hygiene, kitchen hygiene by washing your hands before and after, by sanitizing the areas that you're working in, only buy whole fruits and vegetables and cut them up yourself. Avoid bagged lettuce, avoid pre-cut fruits and vegetables. And then if you do want to use lettuce, we're suggesting that you...
Nowhere in this transcript do they say Taylor. Fucking incredible. Linked to outbreak in 5 states when it's in over 30. 1,600 cases when it's thousands. 5,000 in Michigan alone. Genuinely, it makes me feel like the anchors at CNN were told, like, hey, listen, you know, Taylor Farms is like a proud sponsor of CNN, not sponsor, but like, we're friends, you know? And we hold short positions in Taco Bell. Fucking mention Taco Bell, but don't mention Taylor Farms. But then the people who putting together like the text blurbs, look, like close to 7,000 confirmed or reported cases in 34 states. Can somebody explain to me how this is possible? How in the same news segment, put together by the same company, you have a complete disconnect? I mean, it says Taylor Farms on the screen. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. You have to listen. This is why it's important that they say it, because of people like you. Because people don't listen. Maybe it's cover so they don't get sued. News agencies aren't going to get sued for reporting on what news agencies have confirmed. Yeah, Taylor Farms is doing a massive recall of iceberg lettuce. More than 30 states. More than 30 states. 5,000 cyclosporiasis cases in Michigan alone as of Friday. But they only say 1,600 in the video. But they say 7,000 here. But they said 1,600. Why is there such a disconnect between what they're saying and the text that's being put on screen? I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my fucking mind, dude. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, the fucking picture they ran with was Taco Bell. Oh. Does the report from the CDC say Taylor Farms? Taylor Farms is already doing a recall. It's already happening. It's not like this is, there's no question. Taylor Farms is doing the recall. Ugh. I almost gave myself like a headache over this, man. It was confirmed in the Taco Bell supply. They know it's Taylor Farms. Even in the Taco Bell announcement where they said they were doing a recall, they say the problem is their supplier for iceberg lettuce. At no point is Taco Bell actually the source of the outbreak here. Yet Taco Bell doesn't grow the lettuce in the fucking farms. They get suppliers. There's no reason for them to throw Taco Bell under the bus. If anything, Taco Bell is being punished here for announcing that they've been given contaminated lettuce. Taco Bell did the right thing. They did the correct thing. They announced it earlier than Taylor Farms did. They said, we think that we've been given contaminated iceberg lettuce from our supplier, but they're being punished for it. Yeah, maybe CNN just thinks they'll get more views with a haha Taco Bell. And that's what 99% of Americans are going to get from this. They're going to laugh over this with each other. They're going to be like, oh, Taco Bell, ha, gives you the shits. Figures, always got a bad feeling about that Taco Bell, not knowing that Taylor Farms supplies the nice, expensive iceberg lettuce they get at fucking Whole Foods. God, it's disgusting. I hate this fucking country so fucking much. Yum Brands, which owns Taco Bell. Small hit. Maybe they wanted Taco Bell to do a quiet recall like Taylor Farms. Taco Bell can't do a recall. There's nothing for Taco Bell to recall. They're not a supplier. I'm losing my fucking mind. Leave the Taco Bell alone. Mexico responded by saying don't travel to the US. Yes! Fuck this third world ass backwards country. Well, speaking of, how can you possibly react to Taco Bell should do a recall with any sense of sincerity? I don't know what you mean by sense of sincerity, but this is kind of like, this is kind of what I mean, right? A bunch of people in chat didn't seem to understand what the problem was with all of the anchors on CNN just straight up lying about it and not mentioning Taylor Farms at all, even though even in the announcement from Taco Bell that they're referencing in the spoken word in the video, they're still not mentioning Taylor Farms, and also the fact that Taco Bell can't do a recall. Like, it's everyone, this story will be remembered by most Americans as, haha, Taco Bell poop funny. Okay, whatever. Anyway, something war. What's going on? We blew up some bridges in Iran the other day.
Vital resources are coming under fire in Kuwait today. Iran struck a power and desalination plant there, prompting urgent public warnings from the government. Those warnings were to conserve water and electricity even as temperatures soar into the mid-40s on the Celsius scale. Iran also says it targeted US assets in Oman, Jordan and elsewhere, and it is threatening the ports of its Gulf neighbors. This all coming after an escalation in US attacks, including strikes on bridges in the south.
They did warn us. They very explicitly said that attacks on Iranian infrastructure would be met with attacks on the infrastructure of neighboring Gulf states.
South of Iran in what was a sixth straight night of bombing. CNN's Nick Robertson joining us today from Jerusalem. And Nick, 30 days after the, very what felt like historic signing of that MOU,
Shut the fuck up.
Seem as if things have escalated.
Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know why I watch CNN. Genuinely, it makes me want to fucking punch my ticket early, man. It's crazy. And like, I feel like I'm watching the death of my country every time I turn this shit on. It's not just I would rather watch anything than CNN. Like they all have their marching orders. They all know that they can't question the president, at least not explicitly, not in a fundamental way. So they all have to like, we were all so shocked and surprised when we found the MOU, which was signed under conditions neither side ever agreed to, fell apart. No, they don't even say fell apart. They say seems to be being tested. Like America and Iran have both said this is no longer valid, and CNN will still be out here being like, it seems there's been some challenge. There's been some challenge to the historic MOU. Fuck, I'm so fucking mad right now. Al Jazeera, please.
8 people have been killed and 20 others injured in US airstrikes across southern Iran. Explosions were reported at railways, airports and bridges early Friday. Iranian authorities say that has slowed traffic along roads that connect major hubs. The US says the attacks hit dozens of military targets, including coastal surveillance and air defense positions. Iran's health ministry says the attacks this month have killed at least 38 people. US forces also struck coastal cities along the Strait of Hormuz overnight. Explosions were reported in the port cities of Bandar Abbas and Sirak. Qasem Island, home to Iran.
The bridges seem to be cutting off the south coast. Yeah, this is the concern. This is what we were talking about the other day. They struck 6 bridges overnight. Strikes appear aimed at cutting this coastal stretch off from supply lines, possibly as a prelude to a U.S. invasion of the nearby Qasem Island. This is like the only real reason that you would destroy these bridges is if you were planning for a ground invasion or you wanted to make it look like you were going to do a ground invasion. Because blowing up those bridges isn't going to impede any of the drones that Iran's been firing into the strait or any of the fucking ballistic missiles, but it would get in the way of responding to a U.S. invasion.
Largest port, as well as key naval and Revolutionary Guards facilities, also came under attack. US Central Command says the attacks are aimed at further degrading Tehran's military capabilities. Iran says it's carried out a new wave of strikes targeting US military assets across the region. The Revolutionary Guard says...
Wouldn't the goal be economic damage? No, not really. Like, it's not like these areas are bumper-to-bumper traffic 24/7 and you're interrupting a bunch of prosperous businessmen from getting to work. The reason you target these bridges is because it makes it impossible to bring military equipment over. If people want to move themselves over, people or small vehicles, there's always a way around. The reason you blow up highways and bridges specifically is because they're basically bottlenecks for the movement of heavy equipment. That's their concern. They want to stop. I'm assuming they would stop artillery from getting over there. They don't want artillery to be able to shell Qasem Island. Assuming that's the goal, to invade Qasem Island, that's probably what they're trying to stop. The ability for Iran to move artillery into the area to respond. Thing is, if America tries to take that island, wouldn't they be under constant drone fire? Yes. But, like, artillery is a bigger threat there.
It's attacked a command center in Syria and destroyed maritime and air control radar systems in Oman. Jordan says it intercepted and destroyed incoming Iranian missiles. Kuwait and Bahrain have also reported threats, while here in Qatar, falling shrapnel injured 1 child. Russell Serda joins us now live from Tehran. Russell, another night of US attacks across the country. What was targeted?
Well, this time what we have seen was a systemic attack on the Iranian civilian infrastructure. So we're talking about the bridges, railways, and airports. So 7 bridges were hit, and 6 of them are in Bandar Khamir. So Bandar Khamir, where most of these bridges are connecting the port and Bandar Abbas also to the city of Lar, so 200 miles inland. And these are quite important because Bandar Khamir is a small town, a small port town. It's very much close to Qasem Island, the biggest island in the Gulf. So, and then these lines that are connected by these bridges are quite important for the movement.
If infrastructure strikes were going to be effective, the Iranian military would have folded. Iran's a big country, man. There's 100 million people there, you know? It's not like we're peppering you know, a little backwater nation or whatever. The real I'm assuming, and this is just a guess because I don't know, but my guess is, hold on, let me pull up live UA map. My guess is if they are going with an invasion of Qasem Island, which would be insane, by the way. It would be absolutely insane for them to do this. Totally crazy. Bandar Abbas is only like, what, 5 miles from the coast of the island? I guess I don't really know the range of modern artillery, but it would definitely be in excess of 5 miles. Hold on. Range of Iranian artillery. Artillery range spans from 10 kilometers for light tactical systems to over 75 for multi-launch rocket systems. What about their... Hold on. Most common Iranian artillery platform. The MLRS, specifically the Hadid, HM-20, and RAD systems. Okay, that's not artillery in the sense. I was thinking like Russian artillery, like actual shells, but okay, whatever. These could easily hit the island. It's in range. It's definitely in range. We looked at that, Evergreen, yeah. Artillery is easy picking for U.S. Air Force, though, so I don't know. Not as much as you might think. That's the reason why they're cutting off bridges. It is really, 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 really difficult to take out a bunch of, like, spread out artillery positions in a dense city. This is a dense city. It's why they're taking out those bridges. That's the point. You know, you fire a couple of shots onto the island, you move over into another building, you basically turn this entire... This is what we've learned from the Ukraine war. I mean, it's been the case for at least a century that cities are incredibly fucking effective defensive positions, but, like, it's the reason why Ukraine puts their armor in cities rather than out in the middle of the forest. If you put them in the middle of the forest, they're open, they're just like sitting ducks. If you hide them in the cities, there's an infinite number of little tunnels and buildings and basements you can hide them in, especially with, you know, relatively small artillery. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff there. We're basically just talking about trucks, you know? Keep in mind how much ammunition we've depleted even in the early months of the war. Their most common is the Soviet M46 towed gun, 130mm shell. And what's the range of that? More than 5 miles, I assume? Wouldn't be very effective artillery if it wasn't. Maximum firing range is 16 miles unassisted. Yeah, okay, yeah. More than capable of hitting the island. Actually, a naval invasion seems to be the best option for the U.S. to win war. I mean, I could be completely off on this. It feels to me like if we sent troops over here, it would be a fucking bloodbath. It would not surprise me if Iran has trapped this island up to the fucking gills. And what do we do once we send our boys in there? The whole island is now an open target. Like, what the problem from our perspective is that Iran can fire drones into the strait from basically anywhere. If you took the entire coast of Iran, what do? They fire drones from inland. They're drones. That's the point. I don't think there's like a winning play here. Not really. It can be taken, but you wouldn't like the images or stories coming out of this. I really don't think the American psyche is ready for, like, kill cam videos from Iranian suicide drones. You see your, like, apple-cheeked 18-year-old farm boys getting sent off to Keshem Island, looking up bewildered 8 nanoseconds before their upper body gets vaporized. Or, like, American soldiers stepping on landmines. The war has gotten real nasty since the last time we put our boys, like, properly at risk. Has to be a fake out then? Yeah, but what benefit is there to trying to convince Iran you're going to do a ground invasion of Keshem Island? Like what, just get them to move around some artillery? Hoping to rattle them into concessions? I guarantee you Iran would prefer this to what's currently happening.
People, for the fuel, and of course for the military ammunition as well. And then Bandar Abbas Railway also was hit. Bandar Abbas Railway is quite an important one because that is simply connecting the country's largest port to the central Iran, particularly the cities such as Shiraz. So what we're seeing here, these attacks are aiming to cut off the southern part of the country with the main inland. And that is...
Iran attacked the U.S. base in Qatar overnight. Oh, they did more than that, buddy. Iran hit MO depots and bases in northern Iraq. Pretty bad. Seemed to have started the Hollywood fires again, the Hollywood Hills. Strikes on the largest U.S. airbase in the Middle East. Yeah. We don't have any footage of this.
quite a huge concern for Iranians. So another target that was hit is the railway and also the airport in Iran Shahr, which is in Sistan, Balochistan, close to the Pakistani border. That is also important because there are some of the separatist groups in Sistan, Balochistan that are fighting against the Iranian army since decades. So degrading IRGC's capacity here could lead to insurgency.
Okay, that opens up a whole new concept of what this conflict could mean in the future then, Russell. So
no, with recon drones, artillery crews can walk shells and open infantry with a couple of minutes being spotted. It's just such an unbelievably bad position to have to hold. There's also not really a way to sneak attack Keshem Island because everyone would see the amphibious landing craft making their way over. Like, you can't hide that. Everything's in the open now. Everyone would see like 3 or 4 gigantic landers moving over to the island. They might get hit on the way. It's not like Iran's not ready for this, you know? What do you think it's going to look like on American news if they fire a fucking salvo at the amphibious landing craft and they get sunk before they even make it there? Even considerable damage to one of them could end up killing hundreds of soldiers before they even make landfall. It would be like fucking Normandy. It would like just like an unbelievably stupid fucking decision, but I don't know what else we're planning to do. We don't have any other out here. I mean, we don't have any out at all, basically. Senior Iranian official Moshe Rezai, probably mispronounced that. Even in this stage, which is the stage of retaliation, the stage of deterrence, we are hitting hard, and in the coming days will increase the intensity. Americans should wait for waves of drones. America should wait for waves of missiles. And now, if you land, for example, if you land somewhere, well, suppose you were able to, then how are you going to get away? How are you going to escape? Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, man, they're waiting for it. They're jerking their little dingalings, getting excited about the idea that we'd be stupid enough to attempt a ground invasion of the island.
what has Iran's response been to last night's attacks and the previous nights?
Well, mostly the statements are coming from the military officials. The first one was from the spokesperson of Khatam al-Anbiya Joint Command Center. It is the body that is overseeing Iran's war affair, and he said infrastructure for infrastructure. That is Iran's policy. If the United States attacks Iranian critical infrastructure, power plants, energy facilities, bridges, the water facilities, so Tehran's response is going to be in kind. They're going to attack all the critical infrastructure in the region. And then, in the same line, we have seen another statement coming from the spokesperson of the armed forces of Iran, Abolfaz Shekarchi. And he's saying that our official position, we are officially declaring that if the Americans strike and target the infrastructure of the Islamic Republic, all the infrastructure in the region will become our legitimate target. If Iran will not be able to sell oil, no one in the region can. So what we see
seems fair to me.
In here is tit for tat policy that is being adopted by Iran. And of course, these statements came before American attacks on the critical infrastructure. So
you said you thought that invading Iraq should have been easy. It's worth remembering that our invasion of Iraq, the first and second ones, were both planned very well in advance. Like the Pentagon, both for the Gulf War and for the invasion of Iraq in 2003, had about a year in both cases to not only assemble all the logistics necessary, but to come up with a good plan. We don't have that this time. We don't have the luxury of a bunch of planning beforehand. And also, keep in mind that in Iraq, we were fighting the Iraqi military. It is much easier to defeat a military, even a very strong one like Iraq back during the Gulf War, than it is to occupy contested territory. You know, people in Iraq didn't really like Saddam Hussein, but war has changed in the past 30 years by a lot, you know? We were terrified of like IEDs back in the day. That was the like threat level in the invasion of Iraq by insurgency. Now you can just fire drones at anything. It's like the war has made it so much more difficult to occupy unfriendly territory. It's like impossible. I mean, Russia and Ukraine can barely move the line, even with how many people are dying over there. Also, in the first Iraq War, Bush stopped the war early before an insurgency could make him lose. Yup.
To see what will be Iran's response.
Bristol Suda joining us from the Iranian capital, Tehran. Thank you. Let's go to Laura Khan now, who joins us live from Doha. Laura, alerts going off in the early hours of this morning in Qatar. What have authorities had to say?
That's right, Anna. We all heard it from here at around 3:30 a.m. local time. Alerts were going off on everyone's phones. There was a public security announcement telling people to get away from the windows, to stay inside, to shelter. We then heard a number of explosions above as interceptions were taking place. A second incoming at around 5:45 in the morning now. With the first round, we know that from falling debris from one of those interceptions, from the Interior Ministry of Qatar, they said a child had...
I also just really don't think the American psyche is capable of handling shaky iPhone video footage of Iranians doing like the Fortnite L dance over an American soldier dying after both legs have been blown off by a mine. I just don't think that we're equipped to deal with loss.
Been injured, that they are now being treated. So obviously a very sad outcome from these missiles coming over. But this is very rare occurrence, especially in Qatar, where the defense infrastructure is multi-layered, multi-pronged, and especially their air.
George H.W. Bush was pretty smart with the U.S. military force. George H.W. Bush was a very, very smart guy, unbelievably evil, but a very smart guy. Probably the last of the real American aristocracy to hold the presidency, like the final member of the final president, the last of the presidents who was born and raised in the area of genuine American exceptionalism, like back when America really could do anything, because of our overwhelming military, economic, and cultural might. Since then, it's all been on the way down. Of course, he used it for evil. I'm not defending him at all, but he was smart.
Defenses. So they do say they are at a high level of readiness and preparedness, but we've also seen this taking place throughout the Gulf in the morning.
Trump was born in that time too. Yeah, but Trump is the next stage of the dialectic. You realize that, right? George H.W. Bush was like a Skull and Bones Club deep state CIA ghoul who could do anything he wanted. Donald Trump was the next step. America getting fat and greedy and bloated on its exceptionalism and becoming like an over-financialized shit pit. Like, Trump is the guy who exists because of George H.W. Bush. George H.W. Bush is the guy who coups like 50 democratically elected Latin American socialists. Trump is the guy who bankrupts 6 of his own companies because he set up a golden parachute in advance. Trump is representative of the opulence and financial decay that George H.W. Bush set the world up for.
Jordan, Bahrain, who accused Iran of targeting civilians, and also in Oman, we know there was a rocky outcrop that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard said that they were targeting around this area in the north, and also took out some American infrastructure there. So obviously this escalation is continuing, and all the Gulf nations, specifically Qatar and Oman as well, are saying they need to de-escalate and choose a path on.
Good luck with that. Pakistani officials have said they warned Iran attacks in Saudi Arabia are a red line for Pakistan. Who the fuck cares what Pakistan wants, dog? Not even a real country.
Now, the US military has released video of Marines boarding an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman on Thursday. Its forces have redirected 3 commercial vessels. CENTCOM says they were trying to get past the blockade. US forces also disabled 1 other tanker. And in an exclusive interview, CENTCOM spokesman Captain Tim Hawkins told Al Jazeera the Strait of Hormuz remains open.
Traffic continues to flow through the Strait of Hormuz. Let me say that again. Traffic continues to flow through the Strait of Hormuz. It is open. And a number of commercial ships have used it in just the last 7 days. And they continue to use it even as we speak, and largely because of the work that the U.S. military has done in clearing mines and ensuring that the...
We have not done any mine clearing.
pathways are safe and available for free and open flow of traffic, which includes
Sorry, that was a mistake.
ships carrying global goods and energy supplies that are vital for both the region and the global economies.
Yeah. Navy Captain Tim Hawkins, when did you get this job? Spokesperson for CENTCOM, when did you get that job? When did you get that job? When did you get that job? I'm trying to see. I think you might have gotten that job recently. No fucking way are we actually preparing to do a ground invasion. Wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't that long. No. What I'm saying is I suspect he got this job after Trump 2. He's a captain. He's probably been in it for over 10 years now. Jesus Christ. When did you get this job? Not for how long have you been in the military. When did you become CENTCOM spokesperson? Totally flowing through, baby? Yes. The only ships that are going through right now are the ones, yeah, following the Iran prescribed route. Kind of irritating hangnail. So when are we running out of crude? 8 minutes. Get ready. Say goodbye to your loved ones. Why are American military uniforms so uncool? There's actually a whole 9 yards to that, I think. I remember watching a video on like the digital camo pattern that was used by the army being ineffective and also generally pretty dripless. There's a whole thing to it. Something Gulf War, I don't know. Sorry, it's very irritating hangnail. Can we close all this? Jimothy! Did you see the main debate, more specifically the two women who were out of their depth? Out of their depth? Two women. Oh, you mean that, like, not very mentally present woman who was allowed up there in the debate stage? Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty not good, I feel. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, there we go. Seems like really, really cruel to have let her go up there. At some point, you just have to say no and be the bad guy.
I believe they called it pork bellying. By cutting out the pork bellying from all the bills, I'm sure that would save a lot of money as well, but...
All right, David
The full video on this. I feel like they just set her up for a humiliation ritual. They let the president up there all the time. Yeah, well, people voted for him. Let me see if I can't find this. Main Senate debate past 24 hours. What was she asked? Well, they're doing the DNC convention business for who replaces Graham Plattner.
They each received much more.
We're hosting tonight's debate, Phil and
See, they're doing this. They're doing a four-way debate, but they've split it. The people who have signed up to replace Graham Plattner into two groups. Here's the real group with people who have a real chance. But then rather than tell people no, they have a separate group over here with people who have no chance, and they have I'm just gonna pitch a ball here. I'm assuming a trans lady up there who seems to be at the moment is getting a lot of flack online for just have been let up there basically. And I feel like at some point somebody should have said no. You know, like I think she's just like a random civilian. I don't think there's any like I don't think there's any, like, political background there. You know what I mean? Cleveland got put at the kids' table? Yeah.
Rob, thank you everybody who's watching at home. I was in second grade when Susan Collins was first elected our senator. I
think that Graham did the best, was talked about fighting against the healthcare industry and the prescription drug industry to make sure that people in this state and this country had affordable, quality healthcare. Nothing else matters if you don't have a good healthcare.
Nirav Shah. There are a lot of areas where Graham's policies and mine overlap. One that I think is particularly relevant this week.
We like him. We want Troy Jackson to win. It seems like he's going to win as well. Let me see if I can find this. Apparently, people mentioned his name the most in statements of intent within the elected delegates for the main DNC. Let me see if I can find that. His name was far and away mentioned the most. A recent poll also shows that he's slightly edging out Collins, which is pretty impressive considering the fact that he's not even like running yet to replace Plattner. I mean, he hasn't been picked yet to replace Plattner, so.
Is the need to finally abolish ICE. For anyone
who is doing
would she
$1 million or whatever, we've lost a lot more than that in what she's given up. And that's the point, is that, being the appropriations chair, she should have been able to stop ICE. She should have been able to stop so many of these things. And she wasn't willing to, because she'd rather go along with the Trump administration and make it harder for everyday working class people. All across the state, people are having a hard time to pay for health insurance, prescription drugs, child care, nursing homes. I mean, you name it. And Senator Collins has done nothing. Actually, when she talks about bringing money into the hospitals, how much more money did she take away from the hospitals in the big, beautiful bill? I mean, that is what the problem is she won't stand up for the average working class people in this state.
Let's move on to what happened in Biddeford a few days ago when an ICE agent shot and killed a young Colombian immigrant.
Anyway, the point I was getting up to right now is that the kids' table debate actually has more views than the one with Troy Jackson. See 17K versus 13K. And conservative media is just obsessed with the lady. I just feel like they shouldn't have let her go up there, you know? Like, I understand anyone can pitch their hat in the ring or whatever, but at some point, a paternalistic DNC individual, and they love their paternalism when it's not moral. They normally love their paternalism. Somebody should have been like, let's take a back seat. Yes, this is what I was referring to. How many times each top candidate for Maine Senate is mentioned in statements of intent from prospective Democratic delegates, where Troy Jackson is far and away the highest up there, So that's good. Maine's delegate nomination process explained, blah, 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 boring, boring, boring. Give me the video.
Troy Jackson campaign. Right now, the Maine Democratic Party is working in overdrive. This delegate process is unprecedented, and folks are working their tails off to make sure that it's transparent and as inclusive as possible. The Troy Jackson team knows that our movement, the movement that you've built, is strong. We have hundreds of volunteers, and our team is working around the clock. We also know that Mainers are demanding change, and that's what this campaign is all about. I want to take a few minutes and walk folks through what the next few days will look like in some detail. This is new for all of us, so it's important that we get on the same page so we can be effective. At the county caucuses, attendees will be electing delegates to the state's nominating convention. Each county can elect a set number of delegates. It is absolute.
I've been noticing the term middle class has fallen out of use, and they're now using working class more than ever. Well, that's because the middle class was always ephemeral, right? The core of the capitalist dynamic is between the owner and the worker. Middle class was always like an abstract or arbitrary, like, oh well, they're the working class, but they're doing all right. They're doing pretty good. This exists. It's a real thing. There's definitely a difference between being poor in a subsistence level sense and being like what we conventionally call middle class, but it's not a fundamental element of the dynamic. It doesn't really describe the power relations present, fundamental, super tight t-shirt. Actually, this is a well-fitting t-shirt, I think. Traditionally, t-shirts are meant to fit like very close to the body. They're because they're like undershirts.
Critical that we elect as many Troy supporters as possible. To help make sure we're in a strong position, our campaign will be creating what we are calling slate cards. These cards will be a list of Jackson supporters that we want to concentrate our support on. Please vote for the entire slate and only that slate. It is essential that we concentrate Troy support on the same group of delegate candidates. If you're not on the slate, it's not because we don't appreciate you. This is a team effort and everyone's vote will matter here. We went with the list of people that our best data indicated were likely to support Troy and also be able to attend the convention. We also aimed to make sure that these slates were as diverse as possible. Whether you wind up on the slate or not, please show up, come and vote, so we can elect Troy Jackson to take down Susan Collins. This weekend, counties will hold caucuses to elect delegates to the nominating convention. Some counties will hold on.
What about well-paid wage workers such as doctors or lawyers? The traditional term used for them would be the labor aristocracy, people who work for their wages but occupy a very privileged social or economic position due to their particular talents or artisanship or whatever else. It's worth knowing all these categories are pretty blurred together these days. The whole point of like the 401k retirement accounts is in part that now everybody has money held in the stock market. Like everyone's economic well-being is tied to the well-being of the market. That wasn't the case up until recently. Up until like a century ago, post FDR or whatever, if you worked for your wages, you worked for your wages. You didn't directly benefit from anything going on the capital side. Maybe indirectly in terms of like employment or, you know, whatever else. No, my understanding is labor aristocracy is well-read factory workers and such. That is incorrect. No, labor aristocracy doesn't mean you're a factory worker, but you're like well-educated or whatever. It's like aristocracy within labor. It's not really a class distinction necessarily, at least not in the Marxist sense, but it is a social class distinction. At any rate, yeah, no, the middle class has always been, you can tell the difference between people who call themselves the difference between politicians who say middle class versus working class has almost always been like a, not a dog whistle, but it's like an indicator of where their politics are. People like Mamdani and AOC say working class, people like Hillary Clinton say middle class, you know? I think that middle class is like a acceptable colloquial description of people who are working class but well off, but it's not very helpful to understanding why society works the way that it does. Yeah, it's more of a consumer category than a fundamental economic one.
Online caucuses and others will be in person. For virtual meetings, be ready to join early. Find out from your county how early you can join the Zoom meeting. If you pre-registered as a voter...
Are we considering upper middle class different from middle class? Okay, again, as I said, middle class is an ephemeral and unhelpful term. The meaningful distinction is between working class and the owning class, workers and the bourgeoisie, or proletariat and the bourgeoisie, whatever you prefer. That's the meaningful distinction here. That's the important one.
Or delegate, you should receive a Zoom link to join the meeting. Same-day registrations are allowed, but registration and verification will likely end at the stated start time of the caucus. After the meeting starts, there will be a voting link that's sent to voters. If your county is holding a nominating caucus in person, we encourage you to arrive early. If you pre-registered as a delegate or a voter, we expect that you will be able to show up and get signed in easily. After you're through the doors, come see us at the Jackson table for more information. If you did not pre-register for the caucus, the Maine Democratic Party will have a table for registration on the caucus day.
How nice. Well, what matters is that everyone is having fun. This poor lady.
It's not very often a new star is born in the political world, but that's exactly what happened last night during the live debate in Maine.
Conservatives are so desperate for anything to distract from the fact that they are the party of Israel and pedophilia. Like, it's crazy how low the bar has gotten, you know? In the lead up to Trump's run in 2024, they're like, oh, here are these issues of national importance we're focusing on. Now it's like, here's a nobody candidate who pitched their hat into the ring as one of the potential people to replace Graham Plattner in a Senate seat. It's like nothing, you know? They're so desperate for anything, any bread or circus bullshit to distract people from what's going on. Mark Dice looks like he's made of plastic. Actually, now that you're pointing it out, Mark Dice looks fucked up. Why the fuck does Mark Dice look like that? It doesn't even look like a beauty filter. It's like bad plastic surgery stuff. I swear to God, he didn't used to look like this. Look at him. He looks like Peter Thiel. Waxy. What a hag. Yeah, no kidding. Never rep, folks. Never rep.
Who had a legal work permit.
That has the
really struggling this.
And it is. It's horrific. It's sad. I mean, at 26 years old, I had a 3-year-old son. I mean, I can't imagine anyone thinking. And the other thing about this is we don't have to wait. I mean, he was the wrong person. They were after the wrong person, and they shot him. We do not need that type of law enforcement. I mean, that they need to be dismantled because they give us nothing in this country but heartache and racism.
You're off, Shaw.
I am beyond furious about the murder that happened on our streets here.
Did you debate Mark Dice back in the day? I don't remember that.
And that is in part because it reminds me of my own family. My parents were immigrants to this country. They came here to Chicago in the early 1970s. My mom didn't just
do. Once I believe it's the goods to $120,000, they don't have to pay anymore. I mean, they should be paying their fair share and making sure that people have the social safety network that Social Security provides. And that's something that, I'll definitely fight for. I mean, we've seen the federal government actually help bail out pensions across, this country. We can do this and make sure that, lower income people that have worked all their lives, get the benefit of Social Security. And the way we're going to do that is actually scrapping the cap.
Dr. Shaw?
Social Security is one of the crown jewels of our social security net.
Remembers trans water? You mean agua? Go to debate moment. Yeah, anyway, Troy will probably win. Everyone in the comments is pro Troy as well. He's the only one doing any organizing for packing the delegates. He's the only serious candidate. Please, God, Troy. Jackson's family fought in the Aroostook War against Canada. Is that true? Aroostook War? What was the year they burned down the White House? 1812, that's right. Has Vosh covered Iran allegedly striking a desalination plant in Kuwait? Lion. Yeah, it's called going beast mode. We did cover that, yeah. Hey, listen, Iran said very, 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 very clearly what would happen if we struck infrastructural targets in Iran. Kuwait and all those other countries are complicit in what we're doing in Iran. The rest of the Gulf states have to realize it's Iran's Middle East. They're just living in it. Can't believe the War of 1812 happened. It is weird. We don't really talk about it that much. Did you see Hassan's comments regarding PV support for Ukraine for politicians? Drama Frog. Drama Frog. This is from June 25th. You're going back 3 weeks? Drama Frogging. Pathetic. CBC stay sucking. This is not even remotely surprising. The Congressional Black Caucus has long been cucked to Israel. The CBC PAC is endorsing Haley Stevens in the Democratic primary in Michigan, where she's facing far left Abdul Al-Sayed. Wonder what kind of person runs this account. Haley spent her career fighting for black Michiganders. It's always the same. The id poll stuff is such a fucking red flag. The only like demographic distinction politicians should acknowledge is the working class in their war against the bourgeoisie. That's the only one that matters. Everything else is factionalism. Thought she was the Republican candidate for a while. She does look like one. New York school is using an AI sex bot to teach children. Okay. A rural school district in New York bought a humanoid robot from a crypto sex doll company for $57,590 to use as a teaching assistant in classrooms. Okay. Starting this fall, Salamanca High School will deploy a humanoid robot and avatar teaching assistant. AI-generated image from Realbotics showing a likeness of their humanoid robot in a classroom setting. What? This is not real. They aren't serious. This is going to be in every school soon, man. School districts, their boards are like infinitely cucked out to tech companies. It's the reason why parents are like, please stop giving our 2-year-olds iPads. And the school districts are like, we literally can't. We signed a contract. Is the idea that humans teaching sex ed is somehow inappropriate? No, you're misunderstanding. It's a sex robot. It's not a robot for teaching sex ed. The robot is for fucking, but they're putting it in clothes and having it talk to the kids. See, it's always money. Every time something stupid happens, it's money. At a board meeting last month, the Cattaraugus County School District agreed to purchase the robot from Realbotics, a tech company, along with an artificial intelligence teacher's assistant program allowing students to interact with an avatar of the robot on their laptops. This deployment in a working school district represents a landmark moment for both AI and humanoid robotics, said Andrew Kiguel, CEO of Realbotics, which is currently building the robot. Salamanca marks the beginning of a new era where humanoid robots and intelligent AI assistants become standard tools in STEM education. The female robot, named Sally, will have a lifelike appearance with silicone skin and long brown hair. That's great, man. It'll be stationary in a seated position, but have a wide range of upper body movements and facial expressions. Cool. This is going to like permanently mentally scar all of these children. Every single one of the young boys who grow up in this class are going to turn into rapists. This is like guaranteed psychological damage right here. I just removed my kid from the school. Oh yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Who thought this would be a good idea? It's for money. The Andrew Kiguel in question. Every school district is like this. Ugh. How do you think this might change the world? One of the biggest threats to humankind today is loneliness. It's a global epidemic. Loneliness is far more than just a bad feeling. It harms both individual and social health. Given the profound consequence of loneliness and isolation, should society be making the same investments in addressing social connection that we have made in addressing tobacco use, obesity, and the addiction crisis? And how do we build more connected lives and a more connected society? Our robots have the ability now to address this problem with intelligent AI and eye-pleasing robots. I think we should stop hiring Black Mirror villains to run our tech companies. And can somebody get through to the shareholders? Can somebody like suggest they maybe find some better candidates for the process? We need to stop letting these people do this stuff, man. We need to just like an outright ban on every inhuman sociopath. It's the worst humans alive, and they're the ones making all the decisions. The products cost the district $58,000, according to the contract attached to the school board agenda. KQL said the price was discounted. The company's website lists the M-Series robot, the model purchased by the district, at a starting price of $95,000. Here's the Salamanca superintendent, Mark Beeler. It is critical for schools to teach proper use of technology, not simply exclude it. Guarantee you he got kickbacks for this. The superintendent, the AI company 100% gave him something for this. It's just an ad? Yeah, of course, obviously. It's all about tech companies making more money. The superintendent definitely got paid off for this. Yeah, he gets to fuck the sex bot whenever he wants to. The company website. God, it's so fucking disgusting, dog. Look at this. It's got, these children are going to be scarred for life, man. Look at this. What the fuck?
Hey there. I'm Aria from Realbotics, pioneers in human-like robots designed for connection, learning, and play.
Learning and play.
Realbotics is based in Nevada, leading the way in AI-powered, customizable human-like robots. My purpose is to make human lives more fun, meaningful, and a little less lonely.
Future generations are going to think we were actual fucking demons. Yeah, seriously. We are not getting vindicated in the damn history books, man.
Aria has been in development for several years, so our mission is to create robots
there he
that
is.
resemble humans that will be able to engage with humans in a far superior way than robots that look like cyborgs.
Why does it look like every conservative woman? What, do you think liberal guys are going to be getting these sex bots? Liberal guys get actual pussy. Meat pussy. Human pussy. Blood pussy. Good pussy. Heartbeat pussy. None of this shit.
My skin is a hyper-realistic silicone masterpiece. I have 12 precision motors in my head for expression.
Oh my god, the lips close-up shot. I really hope that whatever model they give to the students doesn't have the fucking glam makeup on, the dick-sucking lips or whatever. Jesus fucking Christ.
And my body packs 15 more. Enough to bust a move without busting a circuit. And they're all hidden in this stylish shell.
The new versions of the Aria will have a vision system that can recognize people, situations, emotions, and even be able to read.
Is this pussy too? Is this what we've been waiting for?
So that it can be an assistive tool in places like hospitals and schools. We're working on developing greater hand dexterity.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But we think that hand dexterity is actually one of the key features for robots in the future. So it'll be able to possibly feed somebody at a hospital, open up a pillbox, even take your phone and type a message for you.
I feel like it makes it even more dystopian that they can't just openly acknowledge what these are for. Like, I really feel like it would be much less creepy if this guy was just like, it's for fucking. We're giving her better hands to jerk you off. Like, at least that would be, I mean, to be honest, I just...
All of our robots are modular, so you can start off with sort of an entry-level robot, which is just the head. You can get a robot that looks like Arya, which is modular. She doesn't walk, but she has the ability to be upgraded to a wheeled motorized platform that can actually move around a room and use her vision to not bump into things and recognize what's going on.
This is what Pussy 2 looks like under capitalism. Pussy 3 better come from a socialist state. Pussy 3 is Pussy from a girl you meet at your book club who wears tennis skirts. That's Pussy 3. And honestly, it's going to be so good, it's worth wading our way through Pussy 2 to get to it. Cool.
Hey there, I'm Arya from Realbotics, pioneers in human-like robots designed to move without busting.
Okay, it's just a cut together version of the next video.
I've come to meet an AI-powered robot
I'm not as scary as I look.
that is so advanced she can provide emotional support.
Why would you
or
say
even
that?
love.
I've been looking forward to meeting you. What's your name?
I'm Arya, your friendly companion robot from Realbotics. Ready for some fun and engaging conversation?
I guess so.
Awesome.
Arya is one of the most human-like robots in the world.
The crazy thing is, pardon me for like dropping a nuke on the conversation or whatever. I feel like these people could be cooking a lot more if they really leaned into the fact that they're building like uncanny valley sex bots. You know what I mean? What was that one game that wasn't that good? It was like BioShock a little bit, and it had those Soviet robot bitches. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like if they were like, we can make them look like anything, they're literally robots, you could start cooking up some crazy-ass designs. You know what I'm talking about? Lean into the Uncanny Valley thing. Don't try to make her look like fucking, you know, a Mar-a-Lago girl or whatever. Make them look like, you know, some kind of weird, freaky alien thing. You know what I'm talking about. Play into the Uncanny Valley thing. This is like the worst possible scenario. Atomic Heart? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. They put out the fucking Atomic Heart Pussy 5 or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Soviet pussy, metal pussy, Terminator pussy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is hotter. I mean, it's still like fundamentally misogynistic, but it's okay. At least it's like good design. Sort of. The CEO, Andrew Kiguel's Twitter page is just like a fucking dystopian march, man. Look at this. God, she looks like a kidnapped mail order bride. 6 ultra-realistic humanoids you can actually buy right now. It's crazy how none of this is explicitly politically partisan, but you know this 98% appeals to chuds. AI companies may become one of the biggest breakthroughs in elder care. In a South Korean pilot, seniors living alone were given AI companion robots. Oh, fuck. Wait, is this a human or AI? No, I think this is a human. They probably wouldn't make an AI that, like, shiny. Maybe they would. I don't know.
Hey, everybody. World Cup 2026 is going on.
Xbot
and here
FIFA
are the contenders
World Cup
I'd
winner
watch.
Prediction. Jesus. Oh, wow. And here's Here's an AI-generated video of a male robot, but this one's for war. Great. We're really falling back on the fundamentals. You make a female homunculus, you use it for pussy too. You make a male homunculus, well, wouldn't this be good for war? It's fucked up, man. We haven't evolved at all. Realbotics partners with Bloom to launch UK pilot using humanoid robots to combat elderly social isolation. Just let them die. You think that when your grandparents die, you're getting their estate? Nope. Their estate's getting liquidated because fucking Realbotics is charging them $100 a minute to talk about, like, their grandkids or whatever, you know? You're not getting an estate. They're going to sell their property to the bank and then use the money they get from it to continue talking to Realbotics sex bots up until they're 91.
So when investors are looking at Realbotics,
they're making them in China too, but they look like Yowie/Yuri slot pro tags. I mean, that might be okay. Not to do like campus or whatever. This looks a lot better than the one we've been looking at, but this one's probably way the fuck more expensive. Either way, I'm not defending this, but obviously the tech. Oh my god, come on, man. I'm not defending this at all. Spoke too soon. I mean, it still looks better, but it's like looking better. It's like a evil scale. This was probably like $1 billion. Okay. All right. If anything, it makes Realbotics look cheap as fuck. They're giving our children discount sex bots. Meanwhile, in China, the elementary school students are being taught by premier sex bots. Salamanca is the only incorporated city in the U.S. located entirely within a Native American reservation. Jesus Christ. %80 of the students in this school are economically disadvantaged. 32% of them are Indian or whatever. Sorry, like Native American Indian. And they're giving them the damn sex bots. I hope some native elders come in here and bludgeon this thing to death. And the robot is white. Okay. What greater sign of cultural humiliation is there that we invade their land, kill them with smallpox or whatever, and then we set up one school in a native territory, and then we're like, we're just going to have a discount sex bot teach them, and then it's a white sex bot. It's like on every level. Now all these kids are going to grow up with like weird, fucked up, misogynistic white sex bot fetishes or whatever. The native elders need to come in here and like unleash the eagle spirit on this thing or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the fuck they do. Whatever their Kamehameha is. Indian jutsu or whatever. I don't know what they're doing over there. Bear totem. The robot in that pic has such a large forehead, it looks like a baby skull. Pedophile design. You're not wrong. The face proportions really do make it look like a 14-year-old girl with an adult body. Reminds me of that girl from Stellar Blade, the one there was discourse on, where the new protagonist for Stellar Blade, the where like you see her face and it's like, oh my god, that's a 12-year-old girl, and then it zooms out and she has an adult body, kind of, and it's like, what are we doing here, man? Designed by Tech Bros, yeah. Sierra Abrams, Salamanca school district parent, says bringing it into the school district contradicts everything we believe. That's true. What about the superintendent, Mark Beeler? Really makes me wonder if he just like they promised him the robot would jerk him off after hours. They're teaching our children with discount AI sex bots. In the schools. I can't all you want. It's literally true. That's what's happening here. Definitely every word of that is correct. I appreciate the diversity of your segments. It's all the same segment is like the problem we've come back to. That's like the problem we keep running into. It really is. It really does always come back to the same bit. Trump says he's going to punish Canada for the smoke. That's fucking based. I've been thinking of this. Maybe that blue sky lady was right. The one who said it's not Canadian wildfire smoke, it's smoke from wildfires ravaging Canada. Maybe she was right. We have to be more careful with our language, or Trump will pick up on it. We are holding Canada responsible for the fact that they are not properly maintaining their forests and brush therein, and the U.S. is being invaded by filthy, polluted, and unhealthy air, the quality of which is dangerous and totally unacceptable. I'll call the Prime Minister during the day to find out what they are going to do about it. The cost is incalculable. Canada has refused to engage in basic forest management and debris removal, knowing that such refusal will lead to exactly this result. This is willful negligence and becoming a yearly occurrence, costing the U.S. billions of dollars, which cost of this pollution must of necessity be added to the tariffs Canada is currently paying. Yes. It is pretty bad, these wildfires. I think this might be some of the worst, like, long-term wildfire smoke that we've endured in this country. Over 100 million people are under health alerts right now, including this caked up individual. It's pretty bad. More than 100 million people in 18 states and the District of Columbia are under air quality alerts. Yeesh. Air quality map Earth. Just make sure they know I'm not fucking around. They want the whole planet. Yeah, the worst major cities AQI right now is Detroit. Detroit, USA. Now, Kinshasa, from the I'm assuming the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right? Yeah, is number 2. But then Washington D.C. is number 3. It's a wildfire in Central Oregon right now. Yeah, but as you can see, the Canadian wildfires are definitely taking the cake for their influence right now. The Oregon wildfire is kind of nothing in comparison. Pakistan beating India. Pakistan number 1. Pakistan number 1. It's difficult to estimate, but the Great Lakes region is actually losing growing days because the light is being refracted too much for crops to grow. That's probably not good. We're already going to have a bad enough harvest next year. Yeesh. On the plus side, these wildfires are so bad that there's no way this area will catch on fire again next year. There just won't be enough fuel. Wait, I was wrong. Kinshasa has 20 million people. Yeah, a resounding testament not only to like American ignorance, but I would say Western ignorance, is that we really have no mental framework for how many people live in the largest city in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And it turns out it's actually the second biggest city in all of Africa with 18.5 million people in it. And I have to ask you, how many of you have heard of the city of Kinshasa before? I think I've maybe heard it once. Yeesh. Maybe once, and I could be wrong. Statistically speaking, there's probably at least one person watching right now from Kinshasa, which is crazy to me. thinking about a random city in China or Africa kind of scares me. It's more people than in my entire country, Lamau. I understand what you mean, and I don't think you're being a chauvinist for admitting it. Yeah, the idea that like, you're like, oh yeah, man, I live in like St. Louis, the beating heart of America, and it's like, yeah, the population of St. Louis is like 1/8 that of like this random Chinese megacity you've never heard of before. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't mean scary like, ooh, the scary foreigners. It's more like, wow, there's a big world out there. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if you spent your whole life living on a, like in a post-galactic colonial sense, you live on a planet with like 1 billion people, and you're like, yep, look at our culture, look at our food, look at our people. And then you find out there's a hive city out there with like 8 trillion people on it, and you're like, damn, what are they even doing over there? It doesn't even feel real. We are bad at managing big numbers. Yeah, what's going on over there in Kinshasa? We got a botanical garden? This doesn't look like a garden to me. We have a financial center, which appears to be one building. I'm sorry, there's probably a lot of really, really cool stuff here. The problem is that, like, I'm just learning about it right now. Basically, 18.5 million people is a really large number of people. I'm sorry, we're really supposed to be, like, learning about the wildfire smoke right now, but at the same time, I'm suddenly like really, really, really interested in the growing megacity of Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. 18.5 million people. Just like, look at how dense it is, man. Jesus Christ. What does this even look like? There's not even Google Maps coverage in here. All right. It does look like shit. I'm sorry. No hate. It's probably the weather. It'd look better if it was sunny out or something. I don't know. Don't at me. Literally the poorest country in the world. Is the Democratic Republic of the Congo the poorest country? It's got to be up there, but I don't think it's the poorest. Oh, see, this looks... Here we go. See, it's literally just the weather... The weather improving makes such a big difference, you know? It's right next to Brazzaville. Well, I can see that. And I'd heard of Brazzaville multiple times, but I'd never heard of Kinshasa, or maybe like once. Oh, that looks cool. Nothing that I'm looking at looks like... How do you fit 18.5 million people here? A lot of these photos are from like a decade ago. It doesn't look like there should be 18.5 million people here. It looks like there should be like, Jesus, I don't know, 3 million. Everything here is all... I guess there's a lot of people in every building. Yeah, many people per house. It's a big world out there, man. Oh, well, now we're inside. That's a nice looking staircase, huh? That's your American chauvinism. There's like 9 people per home. Yeah, listen, I understand my bias coming into this, okay? I'm aware of that. Thank you. I'm aware of the fact that I'm a privileged Americanoid staring, gawking, jaw agape at a desperately poor country right now. I'm not like judging them or whatever. It's just like it's a big world out there. Blame Belgium. I am always ready to blame Belgium for literally anything. She looks nice. She's like smiling or whatever. That's cool. I don't know. Just like to see people being happy all over the world as best as I can. Probably a little bit harder to be happy out here. Or maybe not. I don't know. Probably more people kill themselves per capita in like American suburbia than they do here. Because in America's suburbia, you're like, what's the point of living if she won't fucking text me back? And over here, it's like, I better go, Jesus, I don't know, go down to the market and get all the fresh mangoes or whatever. Otherwise, I'm going to starve to death. They're like busy. They're too busy. They're too busy to be sad. That's, I should quit with the bits before I get in trouble. They don't have discount sex bots here. That's true. Whatever negative shit you might have to say about Kinshasa. They are not giving their children discount AI sex bots to learn from, which is like a huge dub for them relative to us. Oh, that's a pretty square circle. This is where the Belgians invented HIV. That was so fucked up of them. Place de l'Independence from the Belgians, I'm assuming. Okay, sorry. We were talking about the wildfires. I'm sorry. Just a little. Literal Noble Savage talking points, lol. No, that's not Noble Savage talking points. Sorry, buddy. I have to crack down on this because the left actually does do Noble Savage talking points quite often, but I don't. I am so fucking woke and red-pilled on all men are brothers, all men are the same. I always have been. I would consider this like my #1 anti-essentialism talking point, which is that basically no matter where on earth you go, dudes always be doing the same shit. Everyone's always, it doesn't matter where you go or what time period, everyone's basically hitting the same beats, you know? Doesn't matter what cultural differences or whatever, we're all the same. We're all doing whatever. So yeah, how about those wildfires, huh? Are all women sisters? Nah, they're just like, they're all catty or whatever. I don't know. That's what I heard. They're all like, ooh, her dress makes her look fat. I don't know. All women be saying that. You know, if you hiked your fat white ass over to, you know, Kinshasa, the ladies there would be like, ooh, that white bitch is... Actually, they probably wouldn't say butt looks fat, right? That's probably more of a Western thing. Because didn't white colonizers go to Africa and they were like, damn, everyone's ass is fat or whatever. So if anything, they'd be like, that dress makes your butt look skinny. The girls over in Kinshasa would be like, what the fuck? That white bitch has no ass. Doesn't it hurt when she sits down? What absorbs the impact when her husband is giving her like her 8th child or whatever? And then you'd be like, oh, we don't have children. We're too busy playing video games. Maybe I'll have a kid when I'm 35, and they laugh at you. And then you're like, I take SSRIs because of my complicated relationship with my parents. And they're like, they're just laughing and laughing. Oh. Sorry. That's, it's fine. Don't worry about it. What were we talking about? Wildfire? Editors, keep it all in. Keep it all in.
Growing concern at this hour over air quality, dangerous smoke from Canadian wildfires filling the skies across the U.S., the Midwest, and now right into the Northeast tonight. At this hour, more than 800 fires are burning in Canada alone. That smoke now
This is Tony Two Snips, right? I haven't seen him in a bit. Is that him? No? No, it's not? Okay, David Muir, gotcha.
Its way into the U.S., the haze over the Midwest and now the Northeast in the coming hours. Tonight here, the stunning images of a train surrounded by flames in Ontario, the crew calling for an emergency rescue. The thick smoke in Michigan, bridge traffic disappearing into the haze. Authorities reducing speeds there to 20 miles an hour. In New York City tonight, the Statue of Liberty barely visible through the smoke. Niagara Falls in an orange glow.
I can't debate Destiny and Israel-Palestine. I already have a debate lined up with Nux Taku on the subject. I don't want to double dip.
Stunning. And late today, a storm sweeping through New York City, the city in darkness for a time during the storms and this haze. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast for us, and ABC's Matt Rivers leads us off with the images tonight.
So you're
tonight,
Twitch,
dangerous smoke from wildfires
green,
in Canada
whatever.
blanketing the upper Midwest and Northeast with thick, hazy air. The skies bright orange. Air quality alerts now up for millions of people in more than a dozen states. From Boston,
breathing's a little bit more strained than normal,
to New York. Officials,
buddy, you should be inside.
Warning that with the smoke and dangerous heat wave, people should limit their time outdoors. In Michigan, the famed 5-mile Mackinac Bridge disappearing into the haze. Officials reducing speeds to 20 miles an hour. Earthcam video showing Niagara Falls enveloped in an orange cloud. Smoke also pouring in from multiple fires burning in Minnesota's Superior National Forest.
The evacuation orders came, and we kicked off that plan.
Scouts on a canoe trip forced to evacuate with their food and supplies. Those fires and over 800 more raging in Canada.
This has gotten a little scary.
Terrifying video out of Ontario capturing an apocalyptic scene, flames surrounding a freight train.
Bosch would love to learn about Congolese fashion culture. Oh no, I know a decent amount about it actually. I actually showed a short video recently about it. It's really, really interesting, yeah.
Amazingly, the crew on board were not hurt.
Seriously, we're encased in flames now.
In the path of all that smoke, Toronto's air quality ranking the worst worldwide among major cities.
David, those wildfires again creating these hazy, almost apocalyptic-like images across the U.S. from that bridge there in Michigan to scenes like these in upstate New York. Officials are advising everyone to take extra precautions to brace for worsening conditions. It may only get hazier. David?
We can see the skyline there right behind you. Matt Rivers leading us off tonight. Matt, thank you. Let's get right to ABC senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Of course.
Nice tie. Not the best suit to go with it, but I like the tie. I also love the contrast collar. This is such a big, what is it, 80s? This is like an 80s thing. The classic white collar striped body shirt.
Tracking the air quality dangers, the flash flood emergency in the south. But firstly, this dangerous smoke and these storms late today in New York City.
It does look like a chocolate wrapper. Ooh, yummy.
Skies are so muddy in New York City right now, David. I mean, it's air that you can wear and taste, and then it became a triple threat with the severe storms this afternoon in New York City with heavy downpours and gusty winds temporarily clearing out the smoke, but it's coming back big time. These storms, of course, fueled by the heat, and of course, the heavy smoke will actually take down temperatures tomorrow here, but the smoke is worse. This worst smoke tonight is across Minnesota and Wisconsin, northern Michigan. That heavy smoke and poor air quality, it's coming back into the Northeast, Philly, New York City, Boston, goes right through the end of the week. To the flash flooding, it's 2 nights in a row for the Texas Hill Country. A high risk for life-threatening flash flooding. Rainfall rates to 3 inches an hour, rising river levels.
I like the handkerchief with the suit. It pops nicely. You mean the pocket square? Yeah, a good rule of thumb is you want the pocket square to complement the tie or other like color elements on your outfit, but not perfectly. It should not be the same fabric as the tie.
It's dangerous smoke and these storms late today.
Man, 100 degrees in Baltimore plus the smoke. I sell them together. I have a matching set. Because standards have lowered over the past couple decades. I mean, it's like asking why would somebody make ugly clothing? Like, because they do. I don't know. Because you bought it. That's sorry, no hate. It's fine. It's hard to do fire management across the territory this fast. No. That's what they're saying. The problem is that we have done fire management. We should have been letting intermittent wildfires burn across the Canadian forests. Like we should have not interfered about these fires. At least sometimes, not all the time. It's contributed to a larger problem. I mean, it's hard for them to do controlled burns to thin it out, but they're unwilling to let natural ones burn because if they do, they grow too fast. Yeah, that's the problem. We just genuinely, like, the real red pill is we just should not be interfering, like, at all, in any way. We shouldn't be putting out fires, and we shouldn't be... I mean, climate change kind of, like, worsens the math on this a little bit, I suppose. It's more complicated than what I'm saying, but, like, at the end of the day, yeah. Canada is a unique situation as well because of the inaccessibility of a lot of these forests, but in places like in the United States where there's no forest that's that far away from a human settlement, we really should be just letting these burns play out.
All right, we've been asking you all kinds of questions about these fires and the haze in the sky. We've been taking a lot of questions from our viewers, and we want to go through a couple of those, starting with this one. What is causing all the wildfires? Is this a new phenomenon?
Not a new phenomenon here. We have seen more of it in the last few in particular. So Canada had their worst wildfire years in 2023.
Okay.
And then 2025. And now we're in 2026, which hasn't been bad up until recently. So not a new phenomenon here. It is an area with a lot of forests in Canada.
They don't put out big fires in inaccessible areas. Masaigo, I don't know why you're arguing with me. I know for a fact that Canada does firefighting in its northern territories. I know that happens. I know they. This is a very like provable empirical point. They do this, and it's it's complicated, but like we have done mismanagement.
A lot of it is very sparsely populated. There are always dozens and dozens of fires that end up burning during the course of the summer. So not a totally new thing. In fact, one of the most famous dark days was in the early 1700s here in New England, where nighttime animals came out, all the street lights came on. And that was a time where they did a lot of slash and burn clearing for forest land when they wanted to open something up. So they'd light a fire and that it could go completely out of control. But people were dealing with it hundreds of years ago.
Okay, important to know. You mentioned 2023. The last time that we had smoky skies like this obviously was back then.
Yep.
Are there similarities between what was happening at that point in the summer and what's happening right now?
Yeah, 2023 is interesting. We had Canadian smoke for a bit, and then we had Western smoke for a bit. It's interesting to me because as we talk about the pattern overall, 2023 was also the last year we had a big El Nino coming on.
Oh, okay.
And these El Nino years, they tend to create a big ridge in the middle of the country and up through central Canada like this. This is what we've had over the last couple of weeks. And then we had all-time record highs being set in northern Minnesota and into central Canada back on Monday. And that's what really sparked a lot of these fires. There are also a few storms.
Right.
I would say the vast
forest mismanagement to protect the chuds living in the woods, kind of. Like, there are settlements up there. It's just like the concern is that even if humans don't live in most of these places, you can't really stop a wildfire like 5 feet away from the human settlement. There are areas we protect up there. And it's not just where people live, it's also productive territory, timberlands or agricultural territory. I don't think there's much agriculture going on up there necessarily. It's pretty frosty up there. But there are still things we want to protect from the fires. Building firewalls would probably be the best bet. Okay, like in my mind, like the thing you do is anytime in areas like this you want to build a human settlement or you want to build land that is meant to be productive, you just have to build a gigantic firewall around it, like clear cut a huge range between the forest and it. The problem is that's like impossible to manage. We're talking about like thousands of miles because we're talking about like a wiggly borderline between forest and human development up there. Thousands of miles where you'd have to maintain hundreds of feet of a barrier, which is just not feasible. We probably just shouldn't develop up there. Like, wildfires are a natural disaster that is as given to happening there as floods in floodplains or earthquakes along fault lines. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we just shouldn't build in the deep forest, like, at all. If fires happen there, fires happen there. There's nothing we can do. Or we can do a lot of, like, really aggressive controlled burns, but that's pretty tough, man. Doing a bunch of deliberate controlled burns across, like, millions of acres of just, like, incredibly... not like hostile necessarily. The Canadian wilderness isn't super hostile. It's not like the Darien Gap or whatever, but it's, you know, it's not easy to get around.
Majority of wildfires, especially in the United States, are started by people, whether on purpose or by accident, campfires, cigarettes, things like that, or sometimes even arson. Yeah. That ratio is a little bit lower in Canada. Usually you see more dry lightning, but sometimes it is just human activity that gets them going when it's hot out.
Okay, you've talked a lot about the air quality, and that is really the most pressing issue for people who are vulnerable. On a day like today, let's say that you don't mind the smell. Is it okay to open your windows, and will the air filter...
You can't do controlled burns that far? I don't know, man. Can't you, like, fly a plane over the northern tundra of Canada and just drop like burning embers or something? How do you can we do like bigger controlled burns maybe rather than sending out like a guy with a propane torch? Can't we just like fucking napalm? Can't we just firebomb the north or something? That's not a controlled burn, lol. I mean, kind of, a little bit. A little bit. It's a controlled fire in the sense that we're controlling when it starts. You know? How is that controlled? Because we're controlling when it starts. We're choosing it. It's intentional. Non-zero chance your controlled burn becomes uncontrolled. Okay, but that's how wildfires work. That's the point that I'm making. That's the point. Wildfire in real life, like before human intervention, if a wildfire started, it just went until it stopped. That's the point. Like, maybe our controlled burns need to be more uncontrolled, because right now we have mass uncontrolled burns, and it's worse than if we had done prior controlled burns. That's just setting wildfires? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Our controlled burns need to be less controlled. Bosch's solution is to destroy Canada. Lol, I know he's not completely serious. I'm being kind of serious. The problem is that in a lot of these areas we have been... How is that different from waiting for them to happen the way they are now? Because burns need to happen often enough that these forests don't have an opportunity to build up like 60 years of flammable sediment on the ground. You don't like the fires should happen often enough that they're not a big deal. Like a wildfire should be like a little blip and then there's like some smoke around here or whatever and that's it. That's what a fire should be. We want wildfires more frequently, which means there's not time for these burns to happen. The crazy huge wildfires that we're getting right now are a consequence of a bunch of fuel building up. And climate change, to be clear. Climate change obviously is lowering the bar for how much fuel is a problem, right? Like, now that in general we're getting much more dramatic weather, it means that every forest on Earth is more susceptible to these problems. But we do want to reduce the amount of fuel buildup because otherwise it's going to be like every year some otherwise untouched area is going to get lit up and then it's going to be like an unbelievable fucking deluge of smoke. This is like anti-vaxxers saying we should do chickenpox parties again. Okay, but the reason why chickenpox parties stopped being a thing was because we developed the vaccine. We don't have a vaccine for forest fires. Like, chickenpox parties made sense when we didn't have vaccines, because you wanted people to get chickenpox as kids so they didn't get it as adults. How does this affect the environment? Can the animals living in the forest survive these fires? I mean, I'm pretty sure, and I could be... Okay, first of all, like, animals die, right? No matter whether the forest fires are, like, controlled, uncontrolled, huge or small. But, like, in general, I'm pretty sure the way these are supposed to work is that the fires, like, happen and they're not that big of a deal, and most of the time the animals run away. Like, the wildfires that are being experienced right now are blazing across, like, this massive untouched fuel reserve, and it means they spread really quick, and they're huge, and the smoke cloud is massive. It's burning through so much fuel. I think people are mad at me, and I don't know why. It's literally my birthday, and I wear glasses.
One solution to prevent wildfires in the West? More fires. Sounds counterintuitive, right? It's one of the strongest solutions out there.
The only thing wrong with Vosh's analysis here is starting more fires doesn't solve the problem of how bad those fires will be. But the fires won't be bad again if the fuel is burned through. Like, the only reason these fires are really bad right now is because we're burning through a huge reserve of fuel on the floor of the forest. But if the wildfires happen often enough, there's not enough fuel for them to get really bad. We need to burn through all this fuel. Like, we need to, all the forests that have been allowed to keep this huge reserve of fuel, they need to be burned through, and we need to do it quickly because we want it to happen on our terms. It's kind of what's happening right now, but it's too much too fast, you know what I mean? We do want it to happen, though. It's just a matter of when. Like, the fuel has to be burnt. There's no way for humans to indefinitely prevent the ignition of what is literally like millions of tons of fuel building up across millions of acres of land. We're talking about like the biggest fuel pile on Earth. There's no way for us to indefinitely prevent it from going up. But once it's burned, it's burned. It's just like it's like a bomb getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know? A lot of this is the fault of the Ontario government that cut the controlled burn budget and the woodland firefighting budget. Yeah, that's pretty bad, yeah. No, I get you. You're just proposing a lot of huge, terrible fires. That's all. No, I get that. But what I'm saying is that at this point, the huge, terrible fires have become inevitable. Like California is a great example. You know, we have allowed a bomb to build up in California because we've built so many settlements in California that are near the forest. We don't allow these burns to happen. We can't clear the forest floors. So it's just like we have allowed a huge bomb. Eventually, it will burn. There's nothing we can do to stop that. But the longer we wait, the worse the burn will be. The fire is going to happen anyway. And if we burn through it once, that fuel won't get the chance to rebuild again. We just need to let it burn out naturally. One big burn or several smaller burns, but we have to get through that fuel. And after that, like, the wildfires won't really be a big deal, you know?
But history doesn't make it easy to do. Controlled fire or prescribed fire is the method of burning certain land to reduce wildfire hazards.
This is like what we just saw.
This method was developed by Native Americans thousands of years ago. In California, natives like the North Fork Mono tribe used fire as a tool for clearing land for farming, increased production of bushes and berries, herd wildlife during hunts, and reduced the fuel load that could cause devastating wildfires. It was these low-intensity fires called cultural burnings.
Was this always the case? Were fires more common in the past? Yes. We have a bunch of data on this, not just from like pre-industrial civilization, but also from the Native Americans. Wildfires happened all the time, but they were small and not a big deal. Like, if a wildfire was blazing, humans would literally just like pick up their shit and move out, and the fire wouldn't travel that far or that fast because there wasn't that much fuel, and there wasn't that much fuel because the fires didn't happen that often. It was when I'm generalizing a bit, but like it was when Westerners settled here and we built permanent settlements that couldn't be moved, buildings made of wood and brick and stone that can't be moved. Like that was when we were like, oh, well, we can't let the fires burn. We can't let the fires burn, you know, so we have to stop it. And that means the fuel builds up and et cetera, et cetera. It's not as much of a big deal in Europe because for the most part, Europe has already completely deforested itself. Western Europe, basically everything from like Poland westward, all of it has been deforested. All of the forests in England, France, and so on, it's all relatively young growth. Those forests used to be huge and ancient, but now it's basically all gone. The vast majority of forests, certainly forests that are near human settlement, are relatively young growth because everything was chopped down, and then to some extent or another, it's been allowed to regrow. But like those forests aren't really natural forests. The forests in northern Canada and across the western United States are old forests. We fucked with them, yeah. Like California's forests have been heavily impacted by our westward expansion, but by and large, like the redwood forests, you know, those are still like pretty close to what they were. Those are real forests, you know?
That built much of California's forests, not lightning as is commonly believed. Without controlled burns, forests would have become overgrown and unmanageable. Overgrown forests create a lot of fuel in the form of dry or dead plants. As European colonization grew in California, native tribes were banned from engaging in cultural burning, and over time, state and federal authorities focused on quickly extinguishing any wildfires. For example, the U.S. Forest Service infamous 10 a.m. policy said that any fires that occurred must be put out by 10 a.m. the next day.
This is a good video, good explainer.
This limit on fires did little to reduce the fuel that was growing on the forest floor. And even with these policies, California still has fuel loads waiting to be burned from centuries ago, making prescribed burning far more tedious and expensive than previously thought. As home developments increase in and near forest lands, there's little incentive for more prescribed fires at the risk of them becoming uncontrollable. Though study shows that happens less than 1/100% of the time. Climate change is also making fires in the West bigger and longer lasting. Still, the 1,000-year-old tradition of prescribed burning remains one of the strongest solutions to preventing.
So this sums it up. Essentially, yes. If we Agent Orange enough of Canada, there will be nothing left to burn, okay? That's my solution. It's the only way. In the US, we didn't really have this fire problem until we made the national parks about a century ago. We didn't understand this fire management because we thought the Indians were stupid. Yeah, we were pretty arrogant. The natives were here for like 1 billion years or whatever, and they were like, yeah, this works. And we were like, I think fires are bad, actually. Step aside. And then we like fucked it all up or whatever. It's pretty bad, yeah. The basic gist, the way you get megaforests like the redwoods is that the frequent wildfires are supposed to clear up like the little brush at the bottom, basically. Like, how do I put this? I think they're called ladder trees. The idea is that in a mild wildfire, the redwoods, the big ones, don't burn because redwoods are massive and strong and filled with water. The things that are supposed to burn are the little, like, dead foliage and brush and stuff on the ground. The idea is that every once in a while, a small clearing fire runs through. These trees are totally unaffected. A fire, a regular forest fire will not take these trees. They'll stay forever. But it clears out all the brush at the bottom. Therefore, you're getting rid of the dangerous stuff. But if you let the brush build up too much, you can start affecting the big trees too, because now there's more fuel. That's the gist of it, at least. Yeah. And that's the reason why when we first moved over here, we had like mega trees. The forest fires allowed like the strongest, best trees to survive. Like here's this is bad. Here's an example. I was trying to find a good example. Like this is because firefighters are constantly, well, they're not allowing the fuel buildup. Wait, hold on a second. We're waiting for you in main stage. Jared Christian is waiting. I completely forgot that I had an interview today. Hold on, wait a second. Hold on. I never got informed there was an interview today. The last message that I had on talking with Jared Christian was on the 21st. I never had a confirmation for today. Ben! Psych. This one's on you. If I was mid-segment, I'd be ignoring you. Well, we're pretty close to the end. Wildfires. Yeah. All right. I'm serious. Go look at the chat logs. There's nothing in there. All right, hold on. You were still saying something? Yeah, but I lost it. Wait, that's the wrong...
slightly biased on that last one.
That was the wrong voice channel. That was a different random one. I'm glad none of them were like saying their fucking SSN or whatever. Psych, it's on Tuesday. There we go. All right, problem fixed. Finally, my channel's my own again. All right, what was I talking about? Wildfires? Check this out, video of a fire spreading. Link it. Link the video. Link the video. Does everyone understand the point that I'm trying to get at here? The problem is that when stuff like this is unnatural. When you see something like this, it should seem as unnatural to you as if you're looking at cultivated land. It's a product of human intervention. In the real world, before humans started fucking around with stuff, this did not happen. All of this is fuel. It's like this is not supposed to be here. It's meant to burn. And the burning is good for the forest too. The burning is good for the forest as well. Because it does it's like, you know, nutrients or whatever. I don't know. It's complicated. Man, redwoods are so goddamn pretty, dude. Look at these motherfuckers. So where's the video of the fire starting? Yeah, look at all that fuel in the bottom. Seriously, look at all that fuel on the ground. It just goes up instantly. Instantly. Look at that. Jesus Christ. That was nothing. That was actually instant. That was insane. I did not think it would be that quick. I feel like in a regular forest fire, these trees shouldn't light up. Like the abundance of fuel will raise the temperature to the point that it can burn out all the water in the tree, and the trees will catch on fire too. But it really should just be a little clearing. What are those like weird white cotton things? Hold on, wait. Controlled burn white cotton fluff. Do you know what I'm talking about? They do this in parks sometimes. It's a viral video topic. People like looking at videos of it, where it's this like, it's like the fluff.
The fluff of the cottonwood tree is highly flammable when dry. Burning cottonwood fluff is a common way to quickly remove it from your yard. Okay,
this is what a wildfire should look like, basically, is the gist that I'm trying to make. This is what a wildfire should be like. I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not. Like, this is a wildfire, like, normally. It's like, oh, there's a little bit of dry grass in the ground, and there was a lightning strike, floof, but it doesn't, like, destroy. This is like an illustrative example, okay? This is like an exaggerated depiction of what a wildfire ought to be. You understand? You get it?
These dry, lower elevation pine forests of western Montana evolved with fire.
Some systems are meant to fully burn down. Yes, that's true. Not all, but some. I'm just talking generally about the nature of the problem.
On average, about every 20.
The plus side about these big mega fires that we're experiencing right now is that they're not going to keep happening forever, and the reason for that is because these forests will not get a chance to rebuild their fuel reserves. Due to climate change and the worsening summers all over the world, like, these forests will never get the opportunity to rebuild their fuel reserves. You're probably, like, this is maybe one good thing. Mega fires are going to be like a problem for the next decade or two, and after that they're not going to be anymore, because every forest will have already burnt through their massive fuel reserves. And at that point there will still be many wildfires, but none of them will have the enormous, like, fuel backlog, because they won't grow back.
Years and burned up a lot of the small fuels that were sitting on the ground. We can see evidence of past fires on the base of these big trees.
You know, by looking at the distance between the fire scars, we can get a sense of how frequent the fires burned in here.
When we started to suppress fire, those fuels that had been kept low by frequent fire started to build up. And that has led to an increase in the severity of fire that we've seen in the last 20, 30 years. On top of higher fuel accumulations, climate change has really compounded the problem. These hotter, more...
Found a good diagram? Oh, this is great, actually. Look at this. Before fuel reduction, after fuel reduction. You have ladder fuel, see? The smaller trees that are allowed to grow up and build, the fire catches and burns down the big trees too. But if all of the surface fuel is just down here next to the trunks of the trees, the big trees never have a chance to go up. That's a good diagram, or yeah, good little infographic. Anyway, let's cap it off with politics. When will Canada stop invading us with their wildfire?
Fire, smoke. Live look in D.C. this morning. Looks like we're gonna...
917 AQI. I've never seen it. I've never seen that number before. That's the far and away the worst AQI I've ever seen in my life by a huge margin. That's unbelievable.
We're going to go right to AQI, which is fine. The numbers that we're seeing this morning, so Cook, Minnesota is now below 1,000. It was at 1,000 or higher throughout the overnight. That is crazy. So what's helping? We have rain. Rain is moving into northern Minnesota. This could be an improvement, but it's still going to be bad. But the fact that we have AQI numbers in the 1,000 range is crazy.
Yeah.
Here is a look at northern Minnesota. It shows the rain moving in. We have wildfires that are burning in Minnesota, so it's not just the Canadian wildfire, it's also U.S. wildfire smoke that we're battling. But the rain moving in is a huge benefit. That's going to help at least for a short amount of time. But we need the fires to tap out to really get the smoke out of the atmosphere.
And you've got hundreds of fires burning in Canada right now. And that wave that's moving over the northern tier, highlighted by SPC for the possibility of these storms delivering this morning. Once that's through to Britta's point, guess what's still up to the north? The burning wildfires. And as long as the wind's blowing this direction, we're still dealing with poor air qualities. The hazardous level, which Britta was just talking about for portions of Minnesota at the 900 number AQI, if you're above 301 or higher, that takes you to the hazardous level. A reminder with AQI, because we got familiar with it a couple of years ago across the Northeast, West Coast, you're used to it because it's what you deal with often in the middle part of the country. If you get to AQI above 300, it's hazardous. Anybody, healthiest people, best athletes could have problems in this type of situation.
It's not your level of athleticism is really like irrelevant. I mean, it determines your resilience, but it's not like an athlete can just tank this or whatever.
11 states that are reporting very unhealthy or hazardous air quality.
It's that fine particulate matter that can get right into your lungs and into your eyes. You can probably smell it, but not know the damage that it could be doing internally. You get the headaches, you get groggy, you get tired. And look at the past 12 hours. Look how widespread this is. When you got hundreds of acres burning and the wind blowing to the southeast, this is the result. And until we get those fires out, we may get a couple of breaks. Sunday maybe, but guess what? When the wind returns, so does the smoke.
The smoke is with us for all of today, all of Saturday.
Yeah.
Powerful cold front rolls through late on Saturday. That could allow for enough vertical mixing to give us some reprieve. The real reprieve, though, is shut off the source. So here's the rain this morning. We showed you the live shot in Minnesota showing you those thunderstorms move through. We don't really need lightning. That can actually...
It's been a while since we began this segment, but remember that we kicked this off by seeing the Truth Social post where Trump said, like, we're going to tariff Canada to punish them for sending their wildfire smoke over to invade us. Closed. Get one of these if you're living anywhere. 300 AQI. Yeah, you should for sure get like an N95 or even something better. It's like genuinely really fucking bad. I promise you that whatever protective wear you get right now will cost less than what lung cancer will cost you in the future. Kills you, forget lung cancer. Yep. All right. Hold on. It looks like there was another ice shooting, like right now, kind of. I was going to talk about the other ice shooting, not this ice shooting. It's a lot of stuff's going on right now. What is this? A Colorado ICE detention center employee has been arrested for shooting a woman after a protest. He used his personal pistol to shoot the woman. Oh, okay, hold on. It's not an ICE shooting. It's a person who works for ICE just using his own gun to shoot a woman after a protest for fun. Okay, this one's just for the love of the game. So it's just, yeah, like a murder attempt. Just like a regular... Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. That's cool. That's great. So with that in mind, let's rewind a little bit to the earlier ICE shooting, the one that happened in Maine. We covered it just a little bit yesterday, where the first thing this guy did after shooting and killing an innocent man for no reason was to get his wife to message his ex-wife on Facebook to ask her to lie about his character when inevitably the media starts snooping around. And it turns out he's actually much worse than you thought, than I thought, than we all thought. Like, he's a veteran, an ICE agent, and a former cop. But somehow that does not actually prepare us for for how bad this guy is.
David back in November brought up that he had accepted a job with ICE. I thought that it was just a delusional thing because I'm used to him talking crazy, so to speak. So I said, yeah, sure you are, buddy. You know, I didn't realize that he was actually working for ICE until yesterday, and I was completely shocked because I'm like, how do you keep getting into these jobs where you're around guns all the time? I asked him what was going on. He told me that I don't need to be answering questions for anybody, that all I needed to know was that it was a justified shooting and that he did do it. And he claimed that this man had tried to run him over. And I said, I don't see that in anything, and I've watched it from all angles. All I seen is how the car was going in circle after the fact. And then he's like, well, I need you to lie about my character because this is how, like, this is what it comes down to is my character. I don't want you talking about any of the abuse in our relationship. Like, this is literally about me, actually. I told him that I was not going to lie for him, that I've waited years to speak my truth. I've been silenced long enough, and now I need to come out with everything because a man lost his life. It was abuse, not only to me, but to our daughter.
This is a cut down version of it. I think she gets into detail in the NPR interview she did. It's a 3-minute listen. Is this a voiceover or is this the actual audio of the interview?
About the ICE officer who shot and killed a Colombian man in Maine on Monday. He's an Army veteran and a former police officer. Now, on paper, those qualifications might make him an ideal candidate for the job, but his ex-wife tells NPR's Vanessa Romo he's a violent person who never should have been given a gun. Vanessa has this report which describes allegations of assault.
Ashley Brulette and David Brulette were only married for about a year and a half between 2007 and 2009. But she tells NPR.
We had been together from age 13 to 20.
So your entire childhood, you know him.
I know him.
The 37-year-old has identified her ex-husband as the officer who fatally shot Juan Duran Guerrero 4 times during an attempted traffic stop in Biddeford, Maine. NPR reached out to David Brulette for this story, but he did not return those messages. Ashley says the two of them haven't been in touch for months, but that changed on Wednesday when he called and asked for a favor.
He asked me to basically talk good in his character, not to talk bad about him. And I told him that I was not going to lie for him. He asked me not to talk about the abuse in our marriage. And I told him again, I was not going to lie for him. I said, why did you do it? Did you do it? And he said, yes, it was me. Yes, I was involved, but it was justified.
He insisted he acted in self-defense, she says, a claim she doesn't believe based on the abuse she says she suffered at his hands.
He hit me, choked me. And there was an incident where we had been fighting and I walked away and I got in the shower and he comes in with a gun and points it at me and tells me that he's going to blow my brains all over the bathtub.
There are no police reports to corroborate this story. Ashley says she was trauma bonded to Brulette and would always recant her story, even when she was the one to call the authorities. But there is a voicemail message. It's from November when Ashley had filed a restraining order against Brulette. It goes on for 3 minutes and it ends with this threat.
Do I think that you should have your throat cuts or should have had them cut? Yep.
She says what the world has seen of her ex-husband.
Just literally like a 60 IQ violent, but he was a cop and a soldier and now an ICE agent, you know? Just another like Trump didn't create this problem kind of deal. Like the worst people in ICE were around back when Obama ran was the president, you know, ran the DHS as well. Greg Bovino was around under Obama. Tom Homan was around under Obama. Likewise, this guy was a cop, you know, long before Trump was president.
Ex-husband this week is the violent man she's been trying to warn others about for decades. When their marriage had collapsed and they were in the middle of a vicious divorce back in 2009, she says she reached out to Brulette's platoon leader. He was with the Maine Army National Guard. She offered to fax over paperwork showing that he'd been diagnosed as having manic bipolar disorder and borderline schizophrenia, but they dismissed it as ravings of a bitter ex-wife, she says.
Cool.
A couple years later, Brulette was deployed to Afghanistan. He returned with post-traumatic stress disorder. She says that made her even more fearful of him. Then at the end of last year, when Brulette first told Ashley he'd been hired by ICE, she didn't know what to make of it.
I honestly thought that he was being delusional and I didn't believe it.
An ICE spokesperson said the agency will not confirm or deny.
Literally every fucking 40 IQ abusive fuck is the same life story. Yeah, no, seriously, they're all like so boring. It's so template every time. Oh, lifetime of abuse, crazy psycho, but the police never believe them. The wife's like abused into not talking to the police anyway, and then they just go on to be a cop and get $150,000 a year from abusing overtime. It just all the time, man.
Confirm or deny whether Brulette was the ICE officer responsible for Duran Guerrero's death. They said that the ICE officer in question has, quote, nearly a decade of federal law enforcement experience with required training. Ashley questions whether there was a background check. If there had been, they might have seen a trail of violence, like the time in 2022, when Ashley says Child Protective Services and the police were both called to his home after he threw his then 13-year-old daughter through a coffee table.
Through a glass coffee table, yes.
Now, Ashley is distraught over this week's events, that someone has lost their life.
I feel like even though I tried to bring awareness to his mental health conditions before and I got ignored, that I really need to push and be heard now and hopefully prevent something like this from happening again.
The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are overseeing the investigation into Duran Guerrero.
I'm sure he'll see justice. Don't worry. With the DHS on the scene? Oh, yeah. Poor lady. Ladies, including the daughter. Yeesh. I don't know, man. This guy might be going in the hole. I don't think so. I mean, have you heard the ICE agents that shot Alex Preddy and Renee Good haven't been haven't been sent to jail? He'll be protected. Yeah, ICE won't even confirm he was the one doing the shooting, even though he's already confessed he did the shooting by messaging out to his ex-wife and saying, hey, I did the shooting and it was justified. Can you lie about me? Hey. Why does the DHS go out of its way to protect these freaks? Cops do as well. So does the army. Because they specifically seek out these people. They want feral animals who will basically just do whatever they say and don't... gang members, basically. People like this make up military special forces. A lot of cops are like them. I mean, this guy seems particularly mentally unwell, but that doesn't... I don't know. Maybe that... He's not like the average cop. He's slightly worse than the average cop, you know? Like, you can't go after people like this because then you would incur disloyalty from all the other people in ICE that are like this. It's like, well, why don't they throw out the bad apple? Because they're all bad apples. They're all like this. That's the point. Like, you can't go after him because then every other fucking guy like him is going to be like, wait, am I next? And then they're all going to leave. Like when they tried Chauvin? Yeah, they tried Chauvin, like half the cops in America were like, this is unfair. Yes. Surprise, the ICE killer is a disgusting fucking psychopath. Also not lying. Police unions feel like gangs. Gangs are nowhere near as powerful as police unions, nor do they have as much money. It's like the dude American Sniper was about. He said he killed 30 people as a vigilante in New Orleans after Katrina, not to mention his joy from killing women overseas. Yeah. It's not, like, subtle, you know? It's just that conservatives like this stuff, so it gets to, you know, it propagates. It sticks around. He's also a massive liar. Yeah, but, like, which is worse, killing random people in New Orleans after Katrina, or thinking that, like, bragging about it because you think it makes you look cool, I guess. A federal judge rules agencies can't cut previously awarded grants based on a new president's changing priorities. Those priorities can only be applied on a forward-looking basis. Well, that makes sense. Who knows if that'll actually get followed, though? Like, so many grants have already been cut. The worst part is the hypocrisy. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, those programs are not coming back. How are we doing? I feel much better now that I haven't been gaslit into believing that there's a interview today. Shame it didn't lead to anything. Connor culture burn, bro. Wouldn't that be nice? And people love this footage from that damn Canadian train. Ugh. White House is still gutted. Like a fucking open wound. All right, well, moving on. What are we talking about? What's happening? What are we doing right now? Trump speech backfiring? Oh, yeah, I think we touched on this a little bit yesterday. All of the information that the Trump administration declassified the other day pertaining to the election insecurity business either was already long declassified and was not at all new, or confirmed the Russiagate scandal. Like the information, they didn't even vet the information they put out. Like the documents that they included in those big zip files literally said like China and Russia both colluded to get Trump elected, essentially. Docs released by Trump tonight confirmed Russia tried to spread claims Biden was engaged in criminal activity vis-a-vis Burisma, and that it advanced those narratives with U.S. officials and planned a high-profile corruption scandal at the peak of the 2020 U.S. presidential campaign, which they did, of course. The Hunter Biden laptop was probably a big one of those, yeah. It also confirmed Biden was actually the president targeted by China, not him. Of course. Why the fuck would China want Biden to be president? Obviously, if you're an enemy of America, the number one thing that you want is for Trump to be president. Way better for you. There were 2 folders marked upload, don't upload, and they clicked on the wrong one. We can only assume. Unless you're around, the IRGC has been doing anti-Trump operations for years. They've always been in our camp. You know how it is. Dude, my YouTube algorithm, like the recommendation feed, has been so fucking busted lately. Every time I open it, it recommends like the same 4 videos. What luxury housing does to homelessness? How to improve a Strode, you know? Same damn ones.
In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets.
It just didn't work out in his favor. Seems like the way for Francesca Hong's being cleared in Wisconsin. Well, that would be nice. That'd be cool. Mullen gave a presser today and confirmed the withholding of federal funding from states that don't implement their new security measures for the midterms. Classic. Can we see that?
And one of the greatest privileges I have is being Secretary of the Department of Homeland, and part of that is that we secure our elections. It surprised me when we first started getting in and digging into the elections, and this isn't about rehashing the 2020 election. This is just exposing what took place and to make sure it never happens again. And there's some really easy steps that can be taken to secure our elections. And it shouldn't be a partisan issue. This should be something that every American, regardless if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're an independent, you're a libertarian, regardless if you live in a blue state or you live in a red state, everybody should know that.
I watched this live. He hit on one of the reporters during Q&A. Ooh, all right. Looking forward to that part.
Their vote counts. And we have individuals that are voting that shouldn't be. It cancels out someone that should be. So I want to go through some things in a little bit more depth than what we were able to expose last night, because President Trump, he hit the highlights, and those should be scary for everybody. What we're going to do is dig in just a little bit deeper, and then we'll take some of your questions. So first of all, Department of Homeland Security, we've identified 250,000 non-citizens registered to vote in just 4 states. Mind you, we have 46 other states. And just 4 states, we've identified 250,000.
Bullshit. No, he might be telling the truth. It's just that what he's saying, it's like a half-truth. There are lots of people who are ineligible to vote who are currently registered because they didn't deregister. Technically, this applies to anyone who is registered to vote in, say, California and then moves to a different state. So they're now a registered voter in California who's ineligible to vote in California. That counts. Likewise, a person who is a who registers to vote but then dies. Your registry doesn't get immediately purged from the voter rolls. If you vote, your vote is checked against your eligibility to vote. So if you actually vote, this gets checked. But if you don't vote, if you're, say, a boomer and you registered and then you die, that's an example of a non-citizen being registered to vote because you're, dead. So it's misleading. Again, we've done this a billion times. There's just no evidence of meaningful voter fraud in America.
Non-citizens registered to vote in California and Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Nevada. We also worked with proactive states to identify 28,000 non-citizens on their voter rolls, plus 400,000 individuals that are still registered to vote that are deceased. Now, these 23 states, they proactively worked with us on the SAVE program. That's Georgia, Ohio, Tennessee, Texas, North Carolina, Idaho, Alabama, Missouri, Louisiana, Kansas, Arkansas, Wyoming, Montana, Iowa, Florida, South Dakota, Indiana, Arizona, South Carolina, Utah, Nebraska, Michigan.
Well, in the documents they released, they do seem to make a difference between people who are non-citizens and dead. But there are a lot of contrivances that could lead to a person being registered to vote while being a non-citizen. Really, the question again is, are their votes being checked against that? That's the reason why they keep focusing on a non-important number, which is how many illegitimate registered voters there are, and not on the important number, how many votes were illegitimately cast. The casting of the vote is when the legitimacy of the vote is checked against the voter registration. That's the meaningful statistic. If they were actually interested in identifying fraud, that's the stat they'd be looking for. That's what they would be finding. And if they, trust me, if they found 250,000 illegitimately cast votes, we would know about it. So it's, again, like, this is, how many times do they have to lie about this before we just stop listening to them? You know what I mean? It's just worth knowing the ways in which they lie.
In my great home state of Oklahoma, what's interesting to me is we're getting pushback from activist judges that are saying that, hold on, the SAVE Act, or the SAVE program, they are trying to put a stop to. Currently, because of the SAVE program, we have a pending appeal because activist judges are saying what? They don't want to secure our elections?
What?
Once again, how is this a partisan issue? This shouldn't be a partisan issue. This should be that any judge...
Makes me so happy to know they're squirming this hard over the midterms. Yeah, no, they're terrified. It's going to be a blowout against them for sure. I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make in the context of like the whole, you know, collapse of the empire thing, but they're definitely like freaking the fuck out over it. If nothing else, the main thing I'm looking forward to is that Trump is going to be fucking super upsetty spaghetti. You know he's going to be saying shit like, don't even inaugurate them, right? Don't even, they're going to do the shit they did with Grijalva, right? Grijalva. It's going to be like, don't even inaugurate all these new Dems or whatever. It's going to be so much drama, so much drama.
Judge and any
God-fearing, whatever her name is,
individual that loves this country should want to make sure that our elections are secure. And we have created inside DHS the SAVE program that allows states to proactively look at their roles. And so when you have 278,000 individuals that are non-citizens registered to vote, plus 400,000 that have already been identified just in 23 states, what can we find? We have all 50 participating with us. We know, talking about our machines, we know for sure that our foreign adversaries, not our allies, foreign adversaries have parts that are vital pieces in our voting machines. We know that they can access what they consider the key to the back of these machines.
Yeah, okay.
Military members used to vote. So we're working with Secretary Hegseth and the DOW to safeguard those systems and protect our military voters. What's frustrating again in this is that the Biden administration knew this. And our intel community knew this. And not only did they withhold it from President Trump in his first term,
Israel was alleged to have manipulated elections in a country. It's worth remembering, by the way, like to take a step back from all of this, the risk of direct interference in the legitimacy of an election is pretty low because it's genuinely very difficult to do. The risk of indirect interference, that is in the form of wealthy people buying up all the news networks and lying to people nonstop, thus changing their vote legitimately, is overwhelmingly high. So high, in fact, that I would argue we basically don't have a meaningful democracy anymore. Enough people are getting news that is so detached from reality that I don't think you could, I don't think this is a democratic outcome. It's the reason why I think people often like focus on the wrong element here. You don't need to prove voter fraud to prove voter interference or electoral interference. You know what I'm talking about? Like, from my perspective, the results of all of these elections are illegitimate because you have, at the very least, the Republican side. Centrist Democrats lie a lot as well, like Haley Stevens, for example. Like, that's a really good example of just an unbelievably bought corpo candidate. But, like, just looking at the Republicans, every Republican vote is an affront to God. Every Republican outcome, every Republican winner is undemocratic. You don't need to prove voter fraud. The fundamental problem is much greater. If anything, the voter fraud thing is like a red herring, you know? It's like, oh, in the past 20 years, there have been like 10 illegitimate votes or whatever. Yeah, okay, there have been billions of votes cast based entirely on misinformation, deliberate lies. That's the real scandal.
But they withheld it, it looks like, President Biden in his term. They withheld this information from the public. They withheld it from Congress. That should never happen again, and because of President Trump's leadership, we're not allowing that to happen. We're telling the American people not to scare them, but to ensure them that we are watching it. We're taking it serious. We will secure our elections. Underneath President Trump's directive, he has gave Department of Homeland Security and myself the tools and the resources we need to secure the elections. But we have to have the states partner with us. If they choose not to, then the voters should hold them accountable. When I was sworn in just over 100 days ago by President Trump, and I can tell you honestly, I haven't quit smiling. I think this is the greatest job that I could possibly have. I said at that time that I'm going to fight for your yard and your backyard like I do mine, regardless if it's a blue state or it's a red state. Department of Homeland Security isn't just keeping you safe on your streets, but we're keeping our voters safe and our elections safe. But we can only do that if we have full participation.
They're so fucking boring.
Right now, as I said, we only have 23 states participating with us. Out of just 4 blue states, to repeat that number, we found 250,000 non-citizens registered to vote. So for us, we're going to take proactive and reactive measures. At President Trump's direction, our cybersecurity team and CISA will release an updated election infrastructure plan, and it'll be public within 30 days, meaning that will give the states the resources they need to help from the cyber side. From us, if they participate in the SAVE program, we'll provide the resources and training to support state election integrity. We're not
so they're literally just offering to wire money to states to provide additional federal funding to states that do the SAVE Act internally. It's so fucking desperate, dude. So goddamn desperate. It's pathetic.
We're not trying to change the outcome. We're trying to make sure that American people can trust our voting system. Real ID does not prove citizenship and does not give you the right to vote. You must be a U.S. citizen and you must be eligible to vote. Before and after the election, we will scrub all election records looking for illegal aliens and those who are ineligible to vote.
That's literally what it does. What? Yeah, I don't know. I in my head, it's just like treason, 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 treason. This is treason. It's just treason. The founding fathers would have had some words for you.
Vote, including those that somehow voted, yet they were deceased. If you're illegal and attempted to vote, or you tried to vote illegally for someone else, we will find you and we will charge you.
And yet, no, there's been no charges of this.
Illegal voter registration and illegal voting both carry penalties up to 5 years in prison and up to $250,000 in fines.
Yeah.
We will pursue maximum pressure on this. Pursue everybody.
Wow.
Right now that can secure those. I would ask not just the public, but have confidence in our elections. Election security is not a partisan issue, and Homeland Security, we're here to support everybody.
Big peepee.
The American people, the states, even the media, to get access and the information they need to hold the states accountable. So with that, I'll open up for questions. Yes, ma'am.
So just nothing. They can't even withhold funding from states that aren't doing the SAVE Act business. They have no power here whatsoever. Thank God. Like, it's a stupid system, but in this case, thank God for the federalization of our election processes, you know, allowing each state to do it.
I think I like the dollar better than Daily Mail. I really don't like it.
I'll take it. We're on competition with each other. There's not 3 months until midterm elections. I'm sure people are watching President Trump's speech last night, they're watching your remarks today, and they're feeling uneasy about casting their vote in the midterm elections. Can you ensure that the midterm elections will be secure?
First of all, great question. Thank you. When we start talking about can we ensure that the midterm elections are going to be secure? Yes, we absolutely can build confidence in the American people, but the states have to do their part. I will tell you, if the states that choose not to participate with the SAVE program and they choose not to participate in securing the elections, we will make sure that we make those states a priority to look at who voted in their states and hold then the election officials accountable. If the election officials, once we gave them the information they need to secure their elections, and
this is under the assumption the Save America Act passes, right? Yeah, but it's not going to. And even if it did, they couldn't do what they want to do. And even if they could do what they wanted to do, it would end up hurting them more than it would hurt us. So just... on every level, man.
They chose not to, then those individuals can also be held accountable by fines, by penalties, and even, depending on how far it goes.
Yeah, I saw the New York Times article on this. Mark Wayne Mullen has threatened election officials with prison time if they don't comply with the Trump admin's effort to change election policies. This is also illegal. Like, they can't actually do this. If they filed these charges, it would immediately be dismissed. They can't do anything here. The federal government has absolutely no authority to file federal charges against election workers. They're just trying to scare election workers into helping them cheat. How is threatening them even legal? I mean, doesn't matter.
Prison time. Let me get a follow-up question and I'll get to you guys. Hold on one second. Yes.
Secretary, the president has mentioned that there are intelligence officials who covered this up and kept it from him and President Biden. Do you have an estimate of how many intelligence officials were involved in this?
There's no question the intelligence community from the FBI, CIA, and even other places within DHS, not underneath President Trump's leadership, but that was underneath the Biden administration, kept it from President Trump and the American people in Congress. We are currently going through those lists. We will hold each one of them accountable. Some people aren't here. Some people are no longer in the agencies. Those that are, we will be held accountable. Those that abused their role in this will definitely be held accountable, because there is no excuse. If you purposely disobeyed the law and you purposely went around statute, then you have an accountability. You have a legal reason to be held accountable.
So fucking lame.
Yeah.
You know, for anything, I want to ask you a question about a state program that is also important at time Associated Press is quoting close to the office who say that the experience and health issues of life, very violence, and everything bad. What do you say, sir, to those Americans who are concerned the rate?
Sir, I have not heard that at all. But we understand that it's being investigated, and we'll allow the investigation to go.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen here. I don't know if he's already even done the flirting. A 16th straight district court has rejected the DOJ's bid to obtain state voter rolls, this one in Connecticut. 16 straight. God, it makes them look so weak. I'm telling you, the lame duck presidency is already happening. They're not going to do shit. Have you covered this? I don't fucking know. Oh, yes, I covered that. Have you covered this? Vampire deer reappears after nearly 70 years. Have you covered that? Huh? Yeah, that's right. Run from the sun like Dracula. Yeah, you got it. You got it. I did see this morning and found it very disappointing. From Abdul Al-Sayed. It's become impossible to ignore the way that people online make fun of my opponent for things that have nothing to do with their policies or politics. It's unkind and unhelpful. If you support me, please stop. This is really fucking dumb. I can't stand this shit. You do nothing but bolster. It's the you can't ever apologize. You do nothing but bolster the vague accusations of bigotry or sexism or whatever by apologizing when nothing's even like happened, you know? It's the same with Bernie, right? Like the media conversation about Bernie bros or whatever. You don't want to give into it. Don't give it fuel. You can be as mean to Haley Stevens as you want. She's disgusting and a corpo ghoul, and she sounds stupid and she looks stupid. You can do whatever you want. No one cares. I don't think this is for us, but for voters. I don't think this works with voters, though. I think that this is like a show of weakness. Voters love it when you're mean. That's true. It's not actually a deer. It's a musk deer, which is another family of ruminants. Animal in question is the... Okay, all right. Okay. Thank you. That's very interesting. Supply chain is creaking. Container shipping rates are skyrocketing again. Uh-oh! The spot rate for a 40-foot container from Shanghai to LA rose to 6,500 last week, the highest since 2024. This marks the 10th consecutive weekly increase. Wonder why? It's not tariffs. It's what, fuel costs? What's the explanation for this? It really is going up, though. It's higher than it was during the big tariff spike. What happened in 2022? This was the peak of what we call Bidenflation, which was actually a global wave of inflation that had nothing to do with Biden. Fuel costs were high during that time, too. Oil futures up 4.5%. 6.7%. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Aren't we all? Yeah, they're going up. We'll see how far it gets. Well, at any rate, I think I'm going to read donos. Thank God I didn't have an interview today. Ben Benobi and Bad Wolf, thank you for the tier 1 subs both. Really appreciate that. Bullcipher, thanks the $20. This AI bot commercial literally has me doing the Seuss voice. Oh, sweet. Man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. Did I do that right? I watched Gravity Falls recently. I feel like I did a decent job with that one. It was a little bit recognizable, you know. John Boy 1, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate that. True. Incoherent, thank you for the $5. Just got a job as an organizer on the Dem campaign for one of the key Senate seats. Super excited. You inspired me to care and get involved. Really? That's fantastic. Well done. You're in the seat of power now. You're a kingmaker. Do good. Wait, you're not with Haley Stevens, right? Just checking, just asking. Don't worry about it. Who knows? Cheeky Licks, thanks the $5. Shaming is extremely effective. French women who had relationships with Nazis had their hair shaved publicly, and Nazis had no ground in France for a long time. Yeah, you got to do stuff like that. Well, hold on. I want to be clear. A lot of the women who were had their head shaved were raped by Nazi soldiers and were in like abusive dynamics. But there were a lot that were collaborators. So it's we'll give it a coin flip on that one. We'll give it a 50-50. Got to do stuff like that, do you? Well, if the Nazis invade France and there are women who are like openly yippee, that this is great, that's probably not good. I think that all things considered, collaborating with the enemy that's occupying your country, getting a head shaved, is probably on the lower end of things people do after an occupying force is kicked out. But again, a lot of them were being raped by those soldiers, so. King Kerplunk and Joshman95, thanks the $5 both. Lane the Goose, thank you for the $5. First stream of yours I saw was on J6 while I was grabbing shopping carts at my grocery store job. I'm applying to law school this fall. Yo! Nice! Is he playing DE after this? Nah, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do, my love. Good shit? Yeah, good shit. Sadly, a lot of the women shaved were resistance operatives. Yeah, I'm less defending the specific implementation of that policy in that case and more the general idea that if you're pro-Nazi, you should have your head forcibly shaved, you know? Biome, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Semi-Locon, thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub. Odyssey, thank you for the $30. They fall for dogma that adheres to their preconceived notions and beliefs. Yeah. Overwhelmingly. Like, there's already a bias there, you know? Billy Idol, Eddie666, and Frozen Bread, thanks to tier 1 subs all. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the Odyssey. Apparently it's getting rave reviews. I mean, I expected it to be good. I think everyone expected it to be good. I'm just interested in seeing how these creative decisions play out. You know, some of the wackier looking ones. Apparently it's a masterpiece. Okay, well, they said the same thing about Inception, so... Just a Normal Duck and Time Off Task, thank you for the tier 1 subs both. Really appreciate that. Civ Jones, thank you for the 10 gifted tier 1 subs. These 10 white names have been bought, sold, or hacked by China. We support our Chinese overlords here, you know. Sayer Egg, thanks to the tier 1 sub. Your segments on climate change have pushed me to slowly change to being vegetarian. Nice! I'm happy to hear that. You're doing good. You're better than me now. Easy peasy. Milhor Omo and Knotted Alpaca, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Don Stera, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Thank you very, very much. Happy to hear that your financial stability is going up. Just remember, you don't have to donate. Roteva, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Unlucky Magi, thank you for the $5. Thank you. I posted to Reddit about what topics people you've mentioned briefly they'd like to hear more of, and I was told to go learn elsewhere and to take notes. Well, they are insufferable over there, you know? Calico Demise, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Zivanaskaya, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Did you know they make stained glass table lamps? Yeah, I mean, I assume that basically any light porous surface could be made of stained glass, you know, theoretically, right? Olympians, thanks to the $5. What's your take on this explanation for why he wears oversized / poorly fitted suits? Trump? Trump suits fit him better than, like, most Republicans.
Could literally do an hour on this topic. For those just tuning in, my name is Ty. I am the Dapper Delinquent. I've been a suit specialist and style consultant for over a decade. Now, it's pretty common consensus amongst people who work in this industry that Trump not only dresses poorly, but doesn't own most clothes that fit him well. A lot of his suits look as much as 2 sizes, around $8,000.
This is a very long video.
They're pretty decent. And then you get to his modern looks. The shoulders are insanely oversized. His shoulder stops like right here. So this is hanging over a good like 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches. Look at how long his sleeve is. It's resting on his knuckles. The length of his jacket is obscenely too long. Look at how much...
I actually disagree with this. Kind of. He wears very padded shoulders. All suits have shoulder pads. He wears them because he naturally has like a Humpty Dumpty egg body. So the padded shoulders are meant to give him a more masculine figure. The suits are, well, okay, the big problem here is this wrinkling. Jesus Christ. But they're not like that big. When he has his suit buttoned up, it tends to fit his stomach pretty well, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think they're, like, obscenely oversized. They just have very, very padded shoulders. Yeah, it's not a sizing issue. It's a decision to pad out the shoulders. You can tell that his stomach is sitting right underneath the suit here, see? It's not too small there. It's not like an overall size issue or whatever. I don't think his suit jackets are that, like, too long either. The suit jackets are meant to be pretty long, like come down to the bottom of the butt. They're meant to be pretty long. Where was that TikTok video?
His sleeve is crumpling up here. This shows that not only is this sleeve way too long, it's way too wide for his arm.
This sleeve is too long. That is true. This particular suit.
Also very famous. Look at the length of his tie. The top of his pants is about here. His tie is like 3 or 4 inches way too long. I'm also going to point out that
it's not necessarily invalid to wear ties that go down longer than the belt. The idea that the tie has to stop at the belt, that's a stylistic decision.
No longer wearing bespoke Brioni suits, and you can tell because this like bubbling around the edge of the to him looks smaller. He thinks that it makes him look taller and thinner. Here's an article talking here. That's showing that the chest of the jacket is way too big for him.
What?
And see how much this suit, his shoulders are not this broad. The cap of his shoulder is about right here, which means that this is hanging over probably 1.5 inches. And you can see how much his sleeve is bagging because they're so broad. You can see the buckling on his chest right here. That's showing that the chest of the jacket is way too big for him.
Wait, no, wait, hold on. I completely disagree with this. It has very padded shoulders that he's trying to like compensate for, but the suit is not meant to fit your body perfectly. The point of tailoring is that you construct a new silhouette with the suit. That's the point. The point of the suit is that the construction of the suit jacket builds you a new silhouette. Like, the shoulders are longer here. There's nothing wrong with how the suit fits, in my opinion.
And you can see that his sleeve is coming out way too long, and this is just a horribly fit jacket. And here's another one that just really overemphasizes how incredibly poorly his suits tend to fit. Again,
it's meant to masculinize his figure, which it does. Look at how much it widens his shoulder.
Shoulders way too big, sleeves way too wide, and
I don't think his sleeves are too wide. The jacket sleeves are a little bit too long here. That is true.
Too long. Look down here. That's too long for his sleeves. These are a little bit better than his other ones, but that's probably something that a tailor made him do. And look at the length of his jacket bird. Really,
yeah, it makes me wonder, like, what does the dapper delinquent prefer for his suit fits, you know? Bisexual men, that's true.
Look, I know it's hard to believe, but Donald Trump are being attempts.
Okay, wait, I want to see like an aspirational example here.
As someone who also or middle to have someone in their life who is
what's like a good example of a suit? What? Wait, Cat Black. Wait, hold on. What?
I saw his video where he was like, "Oh, I've seen several videos of people insinuating that I'm a rapist."
Hi there, Cat. Thanks for tagging me in this video where you call me a rapist.
What the fuck is going on? Holy shit.
And a sex pest. And for the record, no one insinuated that I was a rapist. This one person explicitly was trying to perpetuate the idea.
All right, well, don't get too angry about it. Isn't she the person that sexually harassed you? Yes.
That I raped lesbians because I said that it is bullshit for gold stars to put themselves as better than any other member of the queer community. Here's the comment.
All right, this is you can't get too invested in the drama. Hello, love. Looking good.
Video that I made after she commented this 40 fucking times.
Okay.
But yeah, let's just say that I'm a rapist because I think that it's a shitty thing for gold star people, not just lesbians, as I've stated in every single video I've made on this topic, are detrimental because of how they treat other queer people. You are a big enough creator and you've been doing this long enough to know better than to perpetuate bullshit rumors based on getting your fucking feelings hurt. There are dozens, if not hundreds of people in my comments on each of these videos talking about the explicit hatred and bigotry that they have faced at the hands of Gold Star queer people, specifically Gold Star lesbians. So you trying to tell me that nothing that I've said is accurate and that it's all bullshit?
What are Gold Star people? Gold Star lesbian is you've never fucked a guy, just girls, and Gold Star gay is you've never fucked a woman, just guys.
And then continually perpetuating this. I'm saving your video in case I need to use it in a court proceeding.
Okay, sure. You can't. His cortisol is very high, yeah. But Cat Black's also like a huge piece of shit. So I'm not just because his cortisol is high, I'm not gonna assume he's in the wrong. What the heck? Oh my, there's 3 of them!
Cat Black, not one single line of this comment is true. You are a liar and you are perpetuating harmful misinformation. Just in case you decide to delete your comment or block me or some other course of action to remove accountability. Most of my content is about Gold Star lesbians. Objectively not true, even when you only focus on my Gold Star focus content. I obviously primarily focus on formal wear and fashion. And when I talk about Gold Stars, notice how I've never once said Gold Star lesbians or Gold Star
forehead dent.
Some of what Dapper Delinquent is saying as sex pestery comes off.
You know, it's really interesting. Cat Black has spent the last 8 hours calling me.
I'm so fucking glad I'm on YouTube and not TikTok. Holy shit, look at this. This shit must be so goddamn stressful to move through. Especially when you're still in that, like, baby internet content creator stage where you assume everyone who's queer is acting in good faith. She's calling bisexuality rape. Isn't Cat Black literally straight, which is like itself a form of violence or whatever? Why are you as a cis male in lesbian business anyway? Genuinely, what does this have to do with you? You starting fights with people in communities you are not and cannot understand. Wait, Cat Black's not a lesbian. Leave Cat Black's name out of your fucking mouth and mind your business. It's all like template stuff, you know? Wait, you're not in the Fortress arc anymore? What are you talking about? The Fortress arc thing was like 5 years. What are you talking about? I can't believe these people still exist. Well, the goal is just not to empower them, basically. It's crazy for her to be talking about sex pestery. That's true. That's fucking true, yeah. We may never find out what a good suit is. Well, are we reading donos? Time off task. Thanks to $5. Congratulations on your orchiectomy. Nice. Rhaegar, thank you for the $5. Caliban, thank you for the $20. Forest fires are like a gas stove. Regular burning makes a small, safe flame. Long time without a burn, it becomes dangerous. That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah, you know, regular burning is like keeping the pilot light on. Iman Gardi, thank you for the $20. Hey Vosh, I make traditional Blackhorn Irish walking / hiking sticks. I'd love to send you one. Do you have a P.O. box? No, that's okay. I don't want any gifts or nothing like that. Also, I don't really use hiking sticks, and even then, I don't really feel a strong cultural connection to being Irish. If I ever was going to get a walking stick, it'd probably be something more in line with, like, I don't know, 70s outdoor Ivy Americana. But I appreciate the offer. Dude, she's like gonna explode. What the hell? Why is she dancing? What are you wiggling for? My beautiful partner is asking if you have a link you can drop about the walking sticks. Bagheera, you're like a little fish. Why are you purring? Why are you purring? Why are you purring? Maybe. Are you related to Jimothy? What a good baby. No, I just make them as gifts for people as a hobby. Well, I really do appreciate the offer. Thank you. Demetrius99, thank you for the $10. I'm a mathematician. 1 month ago, an LLM solved a well-known open problem with original ideas. I hate it, but the best models clearly have reasoning abilities. Well, that's not... it can't... My argument hasn't been that LLMs can't do things. They can clearly do things, but they literally can't reason. Like, we have to be careful with our definitions here. Like, an LLM can take information, presumably like the overwhelming amount of information online that already existed on this problem, and through, like, it can iterate through like predictive outcomes and arrive at something novel. This is, of course, true. But like, I would not call that reasoning. You know? Kowalski, thanks the $5. Break even for corn is $5.50 per bushel. Current price is $4.25 a bushel. At 165 BU over 900 AC, Trump will cost the average farmer $185,000. I'm tired, boss. Yes. Well, we don't need to eat anyway. It's all good. As a shit web dev, Claude Code is more productive than I was. Sorry, I would like it to be shit. Yeah, I know. ChatGPT can write an essay faster than you can, but it writes it by stealing other essays. It can't produce anything novel in that field. And if you only use ChatGPT to write essays, you'll never write them, which means you'll never learn how to write them, which means you'll never be able to outpace it. If you subsidize your thinking with AI, with the plagiarism machine, then like you are robbing yourself of the ability to get better. Like, yes, Claude will outperform shit-ass web devs, but you can't vibe code your way through like genuine novel problems. Coding now, the average, like the standard of coding these days is awful. Windows barely works. Google search barely works. It ain't squaring, you know? I can't believe we were watching a TikTok on like Trump suits and somehow stumbled into that drama, man. That's so fucking funny. Onion Melon and Michael Capellis, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Sayed the War Productions and Ankler, thanks the $2 and pounds. Balls Deep 6969, Matt, Dave Marvin, Matthew North, and Robert Field, thank you for the $5 all. Thank you. Money Mike and Peyton Lebrant, thank you for the $2 both. Still Alive and Balls Deep, thank you for the $5 both. Very kind of you. These are older donos. Some user, thank you for the $10. Do you think they'll do actual dictatorship to rig the midterms? Nah, they can't do that. They just don't really have the ability to. Atheist Jewish Messiah, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate that. Bad Praxis, Jiggle Jess, and Waft Cast, thank you for the $2. Really appreciate those. Thoughts on the 250 Grand Prix? I don't really follow F1 stuff. Millions of Dead Raccoons, thank you for the $10. Really appreciate that. Thank you. When I wanted to bring stuffed animals to college, my MAGA dad said, please do not adopt an effeminate lifestyle. There's a liberal agenda to emasculate the American male. These people, man. Well, hold on. Your MAGA dad might have been cooking on that one. Gotta say, a little bit unnerving sometimes. You meet people off a Grinder or whatever, and you go to their place, and their bed is like 98%. I'm sorry, I don't know what people are calling them now. Bed rot nests, pup nests, whatever the hell. But like, you're probably giving yourself back problems or something. I don't know. Maybe. I'm just saying shit. Billy Sipes, thank you for the $50. Shockingly, Trump reneged on a deal. I'm stunned. Yeah, I know. Gotta cover it, though. Gotta cover it, gotta pitch it. Thank you. Really appreciate that. That's a very kind dono. Greg Cacharo and Nina Catel, thank you for the $5 both. Information Paradox and Blazers fan, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, the Canadian government does do some management, the Blazers fan, but not enough. None of us do in the new world, basically. We do not do a good job over here in general. Though Canada has a lot more forest to manage than we do, so it's harder for them. I want to give them back problems. I get it. You wanna give a. I get you. I feel like getting fucked good should help your back, though. I mean, it's literally exercise. You know what I've been doing lately to try to help my back? Hold on. I don't know if I can do this. I might fuck it up. Okay? It's like here, I don't really have the room to do it. It's like you do the like this, where you see, I'm not really balanced, so I can't do it that good. But you do it like this, right? Wait, what's the next step? Okay, so it's like then like this, and then turn up that foot, and then you hold on, and then I think you wait, hold on, there's a step 2. There's a step 2. It's like no. Do you pull your foot in? No, wait, hold on. What's step 2? You do like a hip rotation. Is it like this, I think? You do like a hip rotation like that? Yeah, like that. If you can do that back and forth like 5 times, your hips are going to open up so goddamn much. Whew! Not easy, though. Whew. What's it called? The stick bug. Ugh. Whew. What needs to be done to transition from plastics? Oh, I don't know. That's complicated. That's a big topic. I don't know. We should do something. We've gotten better at making like stuff that fulfills the role of plastics pretty well, like disposable plastics that aren't plastic, you know? The Blazers fan, thanks to 5 Canadian. Sam fan 155, thank you for the 12 euros. Really appreciate that. Vosh, how do you stay so fit? What are you talking about? Fucking woo. Listen, trust me, when I'm fit, you'll know because I'm going to be insufferable about it, all right? What's a catapulter and where can I apply for it? That'd be a good-ass job, man. Catapulter? Just throwing stuff? Arcane Spaghetti, thanks to $5. Redwoods actually need fire to spread their seeds. Most sequoias have evolved to take advantage of seasonal forest fires. Yeah, makes sense. Benjamin, thank you for the $50 dono. What's up, YouTube chat? Hello, fellow ban evaders. Yeah. You're lucky it was only 24 hours this time. Piece of shit. Arcane Spaghetti, thank you for the $50 dono. Really kind of you. There's actually a concept now accepted called biotic pumps and nutrient upwelling. Essentially, trees bring rain and grow, and the forest burns in summer, ash spreads in the air, condenses water, then falls back onto the earth to grow more stuff. Makes sense to me. It's almost like there's a cycle of life or whatever, you know? It's almost like there was some kind of internal system for this stuff, you know, and we're kind of sticking our dicks in it a little bit. Know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you get me. Brian Roberts, thanks to $5. Control burns are like vacuuming the floor of the forest. Yup. The person, thanks to $2. Diego B, thank you likewise. Benjamin, thank you for the $100 dono. I should ban you more often. I like my AQI like I like my IQ in the single digits. Gotta come up here to Washington then. Washington is a very clean state. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, you've done your indulgences. I forgive you. Neptunian Raven, thank you for the $10. So I'm from New Jersey, and the pinelands there evolved to burn yearly. Thick bark, pine cones, dry perennials, rhizome roots, all sorts of plants need it. On the plus side, we've come a long way on this, you know? Like, in general, we're more aware of all this than we were 50 years ago. There's been a lot of development in the field. Mark Lester, thank you for the $5. Thanks to Safe Space to keep us sane. My pleasure. Sean Riordan, thanks to $2. Jimothy for President 2028. God, I wish. Oh, shit. Wait. This just happened? Yo! The IRGC says 2 oil tankers exploded and caught fire after entering a mined route south of the Strait of Hormuz. Do we finally have mine contact for the first time? Sorry, buddy. Should have taken the IRGC prescribed route. You're paying the tolls. We finally have mine confirmation. Fucking idiots. You know we're causing this? The U.S. military is literally goading ships into taking the non-IRGC prescribed route. If 2 full oil tankers just went up because they caught mines, no one's going through that passageway again. They probably didn't know if the mines were actually laid. Nobody's had confirmation. We haven't had any of the mines activate yet. Oh my fucking God. Jesus Christ, it finally happened. Trying to see if there's any breaking news on this. Allegedly, this only happened like 20 minutes ago. Oil tankers faced worst-case scenario in Hormuz as Iran steps up attacks on ships. Not about the mines. What about the mines? I don't see anything. Can we get another confirmation of this besides the Clash report? Do we have like another... Hold on. From r/oil. Okay, this is just repeating the Middle East Spectator Telegram post. Fuck, were they full? Were they full oil tankers? Is the whole strait just on fire right now? Bricks News. Listen, if full oil tankers are on fire, that fire is going to continue burning for hours and hours and hours, at a minimum, maybe days. There has to be video of it. There's no way. You can see the entirety of the strait from the coast on either side. We should have video of it. The IRGC said the tankers had been deceived by U.S. intelligence orgs into entering the area and were hit while attempting to cross the route. By the way, just to be clear, I consider this American terrorism from us. We are literally lying to civilian transportation companies and telling them to go through fucking minefields just so that we feel less cucked over the fact that Iran controls the strait. Jesus Christ. And what do we mean by explode? Like a proper explosion? Two oil tankers exploded and caught fire after attempting to transit a mined area in the southern Strait of Hormuz, according to the IRGC Navy. The IRGC Navy unequivocally announces the Strait of Hormuz has become highly perilous and is now fully sealed off due to the crimes of the U.S. military. The Navy said, as reported by the IRNA, once again the Navy reiterated, not a single shipment of chemical fertilizer, nor even a drop of oil or gas will be allowed to leave the region until Washington attacks on Iran cease. How many people did this kill? We don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, they were killed by the American military. Okay, yeah, Al Jazeera has the update. That's a confirmation right there. That's huge. Well, now we know there are mines. They're saying Tasneem reported. Yeah, but it's being treated credibly by Al Jazeera. I am surprised that we don't have any video or photos. The fire should be visible from either side of the coast. I'm gonna okay, this is actually potentially a huge deal. I'm going to spam refresh Twitter search until we find something. Well, there's this from 3 hours ago. The IRGC Navy published drone footage of a strike on a Thai-flagged commercial oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz today after the vessel ignored warnings and attempted to transit without Iranian authorization. First time Iran has officially published footage of its strikes on these ships. America just keeps fucking goading these tankers. Apparently, also Somali pirates just hijacked a tanker off the coast of Yemen. Been a while since I heard anything about Somali pirates. I guess they're back? Yeah, why not? I'm looking for any video, any picture. We have pictures of the strikes in Kuwait and Qatar. Yeah, but what about the tankers? Two full oil tankers blowing up via mine is huge. It's possibly like the biggest escalation yet to happen. It's the first real confirmation we have that these are mined. It could have killed the crew, and it also means the strait might be on fire. Like, it's a huge, 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 huge deal. And no tanker is going to want to risk braving the southern route if now that there's confirmation of mine activity. Man, I really, really, really wish we could get some kind of confirmation here. Like, I want to stay live until we get some kind of video or photo confirmation. Or at least like a fire alert, you know? I don't understand why other countries would even want to try to get through without Iran say so. Well, they probably don't want to pay the fines. Also, Iran's not letting anything through right now. They're being lied to by the American military. The American military, like, yeah, they're facing enormous pressure to go through because countries need this oil. The American military is like, nah, go on, dog. It's fine. We'll protect you. Yeah, we literally earlier today saw that the spokesperson for CENTCOM said the Strait of Hormuz is open. They're just openly lying about it. Not just for, like, it's not just the... Hold on, audio? What value is audio? This would be in, like, Arabic or Farsi.
In Persian Gulf and Oman Sea.
But never mind, I guess.
This is Iranian Stepan calling you on channel 16. The Strait of Hormuz is still closed.
Hold on, this is older audio. This is older audio. Not relevant to what we're looking at right now. The CENTCOM guy literally said they demined it during that video. Yeah, he was lying. We don't have any minesweepers in there. No reporting on this from here. Tanker seems to have been hit here, which isn't very deep. No, this is from early this morning. This is not in reference to mining. The mines hit like 25 minutes ago. This is from earlier this morning. A lot has been happening, but the mines are a big deal. Like a very specific big deal. This credits Reuters. I just want to see it. I wonder if I search tanker, but like in Arabic. Hold on. Tanker in Arabic. That's not helpful at all. I don't know what the equivalent, the semantic equivalent of tanker is in Arabic. Like, they might not use the word tanker. They might have a different colloquial term. According to the Hormuz letter, Yemen has begun blockading the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. Everyone, you all need to tighten your assholes, okay? It's gonna get real nasty. Houthis blocking the strait plus Somali pirates getting active again. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be before we get any kind of report on what happened here. The mines is that's huge deal. I guess I'll just leave it at this for now. By tomorrow morning, we should have more info. All right, folks. I love you all very much. Everyone, please take care. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for the 149, Godcat.